Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
And welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you folks so much for joining us today on another crazy edition, another very famous person today. We're stacking them up. And by the way, listen to the end of the show. Very important show note at the end of the show. We're going to make a big announcement at the end of the show here about Crime and Sports. So stick around, listen to that. We're not going to do it till the end, and we'll explain it all then. So there you go. But this episode, my God, craziness as usual. And before we get started, very quickly, thanks for everything. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. Yeah. Get all your merchandise, number one. Most of all, though, get your tickets for the virtual live show. We cannot wait. October the 27th, it is a virtual live small-town murder show. Halloween-themed, of course, so it's going to be spooky, creepy, weird, and we'll find we have a very weird, creepy case for it and everything like that. Just like a regular live show. You can't come to a live show. You're in another country. You're in a city we're not in, whatever. Come to this. You can do it. It's just like a live show. We set it up exactly the same, except the camera is the audience, and you are in your living room, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So much fun. And the show is available for 7 days after the date it comes out, too. So you can buy it whenever you want. You can watch it 10 times. Do whatever you want with it. October the 27th. Shutupandgivememurder.com or moment.co/smalltownmurder. In addition to that, you also want to hit up Patreon. My goodness, patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all the bonus stuff, and you get tons of bonus stuff. Anybody $5 or above, a cup of coffee, everybody. For a cup of coffee, you're not only going to get a whole bingeable back catalog of over 100 episodes, like 150, but you're also going to get new ones every other week. One Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you get access to all of it. And it's a lot of fun. This week, what we're going to talk about, it's back again for Crime and Sports. It's personal ad time.
Oh, great.
Oh, baby, one of our most popular ones here. So personal ads are back. It's been like 6-7 months, so we got to do them about twice a year. So much fun where we talk about crazy old newspaper personal ads, and it doesn't get weirder than that. Let's just say that. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to do another popular, back by popular demand one. Small town festivals. We're going to talk about some real weird stuff that happens in small towns when they all get together and have a festival. Strange county fairs. Yeah. Weird things. There's a testicle festival. We'll get into all of it. That's patreon.com/crime and sports. And you, of course, will get a shout out at the end of the show where Jimmy will butcher your name while trying as hard as he possibly can to get it correct. So there is that. That said, let's get right into this.
Let's go.
A lot of show here, and then, like we said, stick around to the end of the show for a big, big, big announcement. We have something coming up here. So we're going to talk about this week.
Is it a show note or is it a big announcement,
It's a big announcement of a show note. Put it that way. It's important. If you like the show, you'll want to know about it. Put it that way. So if you're a fan, definitely. Here we go. Let's talk about Allen Iverson. Let's do it.
Boy, the answer.
We all know Allen Iverson. Yeah. We all know who he is, or we should anyway. He's still on commercials now, which we'll talk about at the end of the show, because the commercial he's on is hilarious right now. It's just terrible. So, but Allen Ezail Iverson.
Ezail, really?
Ezail. Iverson.
Yeah, that's Ezail.
Ezail, which my computer multiple times changed to email. It really wanted him to be Allen Email Iverson, but it's not. And so, really, though, that was strong. He was born.
You do answer an email, so that makes sense.
That's the thing. And he's AI, the answer. Yeah. There's a lot of Bubba Chuckett, as we'll talk about.
What?
It's a kid name that he's got when he's in high school.
They called him Bubba Chuckett?
Yep, we'll talk about it. It's fun.
All right.
So all this shit here. He's born June 7th, 1975, Mr. Iverson is. And, he's born in Hampton, Virginia, which is where he grows up. And his childhood here, his mother, Ann, was 15 when he was born. So,
oh wow!
Right away, yeah, that's tough for him, obviously.
In Virginia,
yeah, it's hard to be a 15-year-old mom.
That's mad legal there.
That's not easy. Oh, in Virginia, you could marry her by then. It's all right. Who gives a shit at that point? Iverson is his mother's maiden name.
Oh,
his father.
He didn't get his dad's name.
No, this is I've never seen this before. This is a Crime and Sports First, episode 324. I think it's a Crime and Sports First here. She gave the mother not the father's last name, which is a lot of times you just get and you can't help it. She chose to name him Alan after the guy, though. So he's not having your last name, but you're such a great influence. I'm going to give him your first name. What the fuck? I've never heard of that before.
That's like an honor to be bestowed.
Exactly.
The first name, but then fuck your last name.
Fuck your last name, even though it's so funny. I've just never seen it before, ever.
Do we know his last name?
Broughton.
Yeah, I'd go with Iverson, too.
Iverson sounds cool. Yeah, she was Ann Iverson, named him Alan, and he was Alan Broughton. That was his name. So there you go. He has 3 younger half-siblings as well. So from different dads here. Brandy, who's born in 1979, and then he's got a little sister named Leisha, who was born in 1990.
What?
And then he's got a younger brother named Mr.
Okay.
2003 he was born.
Wow.
Which you got to think about it. The mother was 15.
He's got a kid. Yeah.
So I mean that guy's.
That's easy.
She's just in her 30s when he's born.
Right.
It's not like she's. What's his mom? 57 years old having kids? No, she's in her 30s still.
She was probably 40 there, right?
Something like that. Yeah, because she was 15 and 75, so 60. She's got to be
32,
43.
33.
She's going to be 43.
43,
which is still not young to have a kid, but still in the realm of in the
it's normal.
Windows closing, but it's there.
Yeah.
So
it's not crazy.
It's not crazy. It happens. So it's what every actress does.
Yeah.
That's what every actress does. They're like, okay, I got to play like they're like, I got to play like hot love interest, romantic comedy chick. And then when that starts to wane,
when they start casting me as somebody's aunt, I
say, when I read for it and you're like Jenna in 30 Rock, where you're like, you think you're the kid and you're actually the mom. When that starts happening, they're like, okay, I'll have a kid. Then I'll come back as full-fledged, middle-aged mom lady. I'll take a mom role who's got 3 kids and a couple of teenagers, and I'm poor and I'm a waitress in a diner, and I'll go for my Oscar. You know what I mean?
Start running some Jane Fonda flips.
Yeah, one of the kids got some kind of I don't know, he's crippled or something. What the write me a crippled kid. Put him in a fucking wheelchair or something. I need an Oscar here. What do you think? I'm getting an Oscar for 3 regular fucking kids? Yeah, I'm in a way. Yeah, my hair's fucked up and I'm a waitress. That's different than normal, but still, these fucking kids can read and write. They're fine. Make one of them
7, 8 gray hairs. Who cares?
Yeah, give one of them a little one of those. Just write something. You're the writer, not me. I'm just telling you. Noticeable though on film. People got to see it in the trailer.
Write me the one where I kidnap a black kid that's doing fine.
Do that, and then I'll still think I'm his savior. That's fine. His nickname is Bubba Chuck. That's his nickname, not Bubba Chuck It. I'm thinking of the Chuck It frisbee that I throw to my dog Oscar. But this is the Chuck It as a frisbee.
Why'd they call him that?
Bubba Chuck. I don't know, but that's what they called him. Bubba.
Fascinating.
I've noticed a weird trend down south now. If you watch Live PD or On Patrol or whatever the fuck it's called now,
everybody's Bubba.
Southern men call each other exclusively Bubba.
Yeah,
and
everybody's Bubba.
Really weird. It's fucking weird. Just Southern white guys, Bubba, Bubba, back and forth. I'm like, why are you calling each other Bubba? What is that? I don't get that.
Or Bub.
Is that the down south bro? Is that what that is?
Yeah. It is.
Or dude, or
cousin.
They just use
it was
Bubba.
Cousin, now it's Bubba. Yeah.
Bubba. That's just so it sounds insulting. It's
Does it?
What's up, Bubba? Motherfucker. You could replace it with motherfucker really easily. It doesn't sound friendly. If you call me Bubba, fuck you. How's that?
My bartender's a Mexican guy and he calls me Bubba.
How do you explain that?
I don't know.
What fucking wires got crossed with that guy? What's going on? Although in Arizona, you do encounter a very, very strange phenomenon of the Mexican redneck, which is a really weird thing.
It's a fascinating guy.
It's fascinating, but you see it all the time where they're like,
it's everywhere. Yeah.
I will adopt this culture no matter what.
Well,
you're like, what are you doing?
Cowboys were the Spaniards in the first place. That's how America got cowboy culture, and we've just ripped it from them.
But then now this isn't cowboy culture. Those people aren't cowboys. There's like 4 cowboys in the state of Arizona. These are rednecks who like to play dress up. These are cosplay rednecks. That's what they are.
We ripped it from them, and then they ripped it back, and we have already rubbed our stank all over it, ruining it, and they just adapt to that shit.
Yeah, but their thing is like, I like country music, and I like shit like that, and you're like, what are you talking about? You love a culture that just hates you. Like, what are you doing? Makes no sense. What are you, Kanye West? What's happening with you? How the fuck are you doing? They don't like you. Anyway.
Stop it with the T-shirts, Kanye.
Yeah. Stop it with everything. I'm fucking...
just
stop.
sit in the room for a while.
Enough. Yeah. We got
Reflect,
it.
for Christ's sake.
Gold Digger was fine. The fucking TikTok motherfucker. I'm
Jesus
sorry.
walks. We get it. He's fine. Everything's all right.
Just because you have 4 good songs does not mean I have to listen to you for 30 fucking years. Talk about the world. It doesn't.
4 great songs does not a career make.
I don't have to hear fucking Vince Neil's fucking views on. Do I? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to hear his shit at all.
Well, that's what happens when you kill your friend.
Then maybe you shut the fuck up. All I have to do with Tommy Lee is see his dick once in a while. Every 25 years he shows us his cock, and that's fine. I don't care about that. And then he goes away, crawls back into the woodwork for a while. I don't care.
Mars, thank Christ, never had any voice at all.
No,
just
none.
Dying right before our eyes. Have you seen
withering
him?
To nothing? Well, his back deteriorated to.
Oh, yeah, God, dude,
he was fucked up in the 80s. I mean,
I don't know what he's got back there that's propping him up, but it's like concrete. It's like a concrete column at this time.
Plus, he's like 10 years older than all the other guys too. So that's another thing. He is.
I feel so bad for him.
He was the elder statesman of the band. Yeah. They just needed someone with talent to fucking like hold it all together. Tommy Lee's a good drummer, but don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I think it was Tommy Lee's video, but I saw Mick walk out to play, and they just have guitars on stands now that he stands behind and plays. He doesn't even fucking hold them anymore.
They put the fucking rolly wheels on his shoes, and they just push him out there, shove him, and he just... just fucking right into place. Yeah. He just stands in place.
And then just reaches around the guitar and plays it, because the poor bastard, jeez, he's so good, too. He's amazing. He shreds, and he's just dying before our eyes.
If we sound extra loose today, listen to the end of the show and you'll understand why, because we're having fun. You know what I mean?
This is for us.
This is for us. So, he's Bubba Chuck. Anyway, back to, I don't know how the fuck we got all the way to Mick Mars from Bubba Chuck.
From Bubba Chuck.
But we can go anywhere from anywhere, I feel like. A childhood friend of his, Jamie Rogers, said that Iverson would always look out for the younger kids in the neighborhood, and he was good at teaching. He said he could teach anybody things, basketball stuff, life shit, whatever. He said he was good at that. I guess when he was 13, Alan, he had an issue here when a guy who he looked up to a lot, a guy named Michael Freeman from the neighborhood that he looked up to, was arrested right in front of him for dealing drugs.
Shit.
And I guess it was this guy's fourth offense or some shit like that. So the guy was
in trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble. He failed the 8th grade. Alan did, not the drug dealer. He might have failed 8th grade, the drug dealer, but at this point,
failed a lot of grades.
He was done. Didn't matter. He wasn't using it for his career, so he said he failed that because of absences and ended up moving. His mom moved him to get out of the projects, but still never in a nice area though. That's the problem. Alan comes from a rough area and he kind of keeps that with him his whole life, that sort of thing. So in high school, though, he attended Bethel High School in Hampton, and he is a beast of an athlete in multiple sports. I didn't know he played football. Did you?
I had no idea.
He was. Wait till you hear. Listen to this. And he's fucking amazing, basically. I mean, if you watched him on the court, you go, Jesus Christ, nobody else moves like that.
Yeah.
Nobody moves like that. Right. They just don't. Like, he's quick as a cat. Like, he had a different skill set than other guys. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think you said it. Give him 6 inches, and that guy's unstoppable.
Kobe Bryant was the one who said, if he's 6'5", we're all fucked. That's what he said. If he's 6'5", we're all fucked. The whole league. His
abilities are
owns
insane.
The league. He's 6'1" is the problem of him, and still dominant. Which is in fucking insane. So the fact that if he's 6'6", you can't stop him. He's Michael Jordan if he's 6'6". He's got the same head as Michael Jordan.
Right.
He's got that same. I don't know if you want to say the same head. I don't mean the same like business sense or anything like that. But on the court, he's got that. You're not going to break me. I'm going to break you.
Yes.
Yeah. You'll never fucking beat me mentally on the court type of attitude. That's fucking interesting. I just saw a thing where Larry Bird was saying how when he was coaching the Pacers, he was telling his team to knock Jordan on his ass. Knock him on his fucking ass next time he comes in there. You guys are playing intimidated. Knock him on his fucking ass. And nobody would do it.
Really?
Nobody did it. Even though their coaches go knock him on his ass when he goes to the rim, they'd fucking get out of the way. And he'd be like, what the fuck? And it was because they were all scared. They were all scared
that he's better than them.
If I piss him off and knock him down, he's going to embarrass me more.
He might play harder.
That's what I'm saying.
What if he plays harder, Lair?
That's the mind fuck Michael Jordan had on the whole league, where they were terrified of pissing him off. They didn't even want to talk shit to him because, oh God, he's just going to dominate me worse. Now he'll dunk on me. Put his balls in my face.
That's the thing that Kobe, and Allen Iverson all did. When they were pissed off, holy fuck, man.
Those three were so mentally strong that they could. A lot of times in sports, you talk trash because people play worse pissed off.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but there's a few people who, if you piss them off, they go, okay, motherfucker. And they just it's like a food pellet that they loaded into their energy bank, and they just come out.
And they light it up.
And they light it up just to show you up. And Allen, I think, is one of those guys. In 91, he meets a very significant person in his life who will be around still to this day. Tawana.
What's his name?
Tawana.
Oh, it's a lady.
No, it's a lady. Tawana is his future wife. And wow, do they have some interesting times, he and Tawana.
When he was 16?
16 they met. Yeah, they've been together ever since. And this guy, Allen, it's not like he's faithful. I mean, he was going out with Da Brat for a while.
Is that right?
The rapper. And she dumped him because he was too promiscuous. So, this is all while he's married, or while he's at least living with a woman and kids. He's got, so his side piece dumps him because he's got too many side pieces. That says something. In high school, he started at quarterback for the football team.
Wow.
Quarterback. He also played running back, kick returner, and defensive back.
No shit.
Two-way player. He's such an athlete.
All the fast stuff.
You're not taking him off the field. Christ almighty, he's amazing. He also started at point guard, obviously, for the basketball team. During his junior year, he led both teams to Virginia State championships.
The football team and the basketball team.
And was by far head and shoulder star of both teams. He led the team.
That's the first.
That's incredible. I've never heard of it. I'm sure
I've
it's
never
happened,
heard of that ever.
That's incredible. He also won the Associated Press High School Player of the Year award in both sports.
Unreal.
In both sports. He's not even a senior. He's a fucking junior. Yeah. That's incredible, man. That's wild. He was on the AAU basketball team and won the 1992 17 and under AAU national championship also.
Shit.
So for a guy who later on, the big knock on him is he can't win the big one, can't win a championship. He's does nothing but win championships.
Yeah,
he does nothing but win championships before that. And in the NBA, tell me a team that he was on that should have won a championship.
Right.
I'll wait.
You take him off the 76ers and put him on any team that's a contender, he wins several.
We'll put it this way. The Sixer teams that were in the finals, take him off those teams, they're not even 500 teams. They're
See
fucking.
where they go.
They're 32 win teams if you take them off those fucking teams. So that tells you a lot. You go from 50 win team to a 50 loss team like that if you take him off, because he's the entire energy source of the whole team here. So He earned Associated Press High School Player of the Year award in football and basketball. Like I said, won both the Division V AAA Virginia State championships in both sports, and he's got a girlfriend. I'm going to say it right now, Grace. That's Grace, I think. He does make a lot of money, but
he does.
I'm talking for his happiness, I think this is Grace right here.
I think
probably.
You're right.
I think this is good because it's a tenuous life after this for him. So now Tawana wasn't even going to the same school as him. They went to rival high schools.
Is that right?
Yeah, which I'm sure allowed him to cheat on her a lot, which was probably the advantage of that. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
She never is like real public of a figure until some court proceedings later on. Then she gets real public. But before that, she's never she doesn't really want the spotlight. She's not one of these, I
don't think I knew that he was married.
Exactly. She's not one of these, she's not one of these, I'm getting in the picture too type of thing. She's like, take your pictures and then we'll go. Like fucking, I'm a more private person. One of her friends here, a classmate who knew her, said to her he was her boyfriend. It was no big deal. It wasn't like she bragged about it. She kept her private life very private.
Okay.
Which makes sense. He's also a parade All-American in basketball. In his senior year, he averaged 31.6 points a game in basketball.
Holy shit.
Which is, in high school, that's insane. There's teams that average 30. Yeah.
They score 51.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like LeBron would do shit like that, but LeBron had a man's body in that. I mean, he was 6'8" and jacked when he was 17. So, I mean, he looked like he was playing with children, whereas Iverson's
athletically dunking.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas Iverson, I mean, as athletic as anybody, but he's only 6'1". It's not like he can dominate with size or push people out of the way or anything like that. He also scored that year 21 touchdowns and passed for 14 more. So he ran in 21 and passed for 14.
He got fucking 35 touchdowns because of him?
Because of him, just exclusively. His college football recruiter who was looking at him said, quote, "He's the most exciting player I've ever seen in high school." As a football player.
Yeah.
Not even as this guy as the sport he played later. That's how good he is.
I can't imagine the footwork he must have had on a football court.
Oh, my God.
He's
imagine.
So fast.
You can't track him on a basketball court. You put cleats on him and let him dig in. Wow.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. On a basketball court, the basketball shoes, they slide a bit. They give.
You have to keep a ball dribbling. In a football field, you can move however you want.
You can just move? Oh, God.
No one's going to call you for a carry.
No. That's what they want you to do.
Yeah. So a college basketball recruiter said he may be the best high school basketball player I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Pretty intense. He was considering in his senior year 15 colleges, and he said he's only going to play basketball, though. He has no interest in football. Doesn't want to get hurt just here for basketball because it's just smarter. You can go make more money immediately.
And at 6'1", he would have done fine, I'm sure. But if he made the NFL, it's not going to be great for him.
It's not going to be as a quarterback. They're going to move him to a defensive back or something, and he's going to be like a 4th-round draft pick. Instead, you can be different in basketball. So he apparently at the end though here he had not met his NCAA academic minimums to be in college. Now it says
tell me Alan's not a bright kid.
No, he's smart as shit. He absolutely smart as shit. He just has other things that he's doing right now.
Oh, got it.
Including sports, girls, shit like that. No, he's dumb is not a problem for Allen Iverson. No? He's not dumb at all. No, he's real fucking smart. In the books?
Really?
No, I don't know about in the books, but I mean in life, he's not a moron at all. Like definitely not stupid. He does a lot of stupid shit. Yeah. Which is it's a totally different disease we're talking about here. Yeah. We've encountered plenty of those people. I mean, we're comedians, for God's sake. Smart people who do dumb shit is our whole bread and butter of everybody we've ever met and looked up to and followed and everything else.
Yeah. So choices are not their strong suit.
No, never. You go, well, that guy's so smart. Why is he doing that? Exactly. That's what we got here. Yeah. So it says here to play college ball, he must earn a general equivalency diploma, GED, which is easy, trust me, and improve his grade point average, which last winter was reported at 1.8.
Oh, boy. That's how I graduated, too.
By the skin of your teeth. You need a 2.0 for the NCAA. That's what they require for a freshman to compete in college sports. Mm-hmm. And he's got to he must score at least a combined 700 on the Scholastic Aptitude Test, which he has not done either. So he's got to do the SAT. He's got to do all that shit. Anyway, November of 1992, he is driving and he's arrested for driving.
What?
Why? Because he doesn't have a fucking driver's license. So that's a problem. Just driving.
He never got it?
No, he's 17. He just didn't get it. He didn't do his driver's license. Didn't have it. And then he doesn't show up for court either.
Alan.
Which is not smart. No. Then he's sentenced to, you, young man, may fuck off, community service at a local hospital.
Okay.
He has 6 months to complete it, and he doesn't fucking do it at all. So he just completely ignored it. Didn't show up for court. Didn't do his whatever the shit there, the community service. He did nothing.
I'm gonna treat community service like a driver's license and not get it.
Just not get it. Yeah, I don't need it. I'll still keep driving. Now, about where he's from, because a lot of to understand Alan, you kind of got to understand his upbringing, where he's from, who he hangs out with, all that sort of shit, because it sticks with him for his whole life. I mean, everybody that we talk about later on that's around him are all people he's known his whole fucking life. It's the only people he trusts. So as far as Hampton goes, here's a police officer named Danny McChesney.
Really?
McChesney.
Sounds like a country singer.
An Irish country singer. Danny McChesney. He's Ireland's #1 country crooner. That's what he's doing.
I mean, country music is just Irish music with more twang. It's just about booze and cars.
Irish music is about famine and your kids dying, though. Country music
is and love lost. That's
what it used to be. Now it's about your lawn equipment and your wife. That's what it's about now. I love my wife like I love my fucking John Deere lawnmower. That's the premise for most country songs now. Ireland, it would be like The English Made My Grandparents Die. You know what I mean? Like it would be a different kind of song. Like it would be all like anti-English ones and basically like U2's first album. It would just be U2's first album. That's just Sunday Bloody Sunday in country version.
And what you're looking for. And what you're looking for is always the woman that left.
That's it. But she might have been killed by the English, so you might not bother looking for her. That would be the difference in the Irish version. She's not off in like Reno with another guy.
Right. And my truck.
Yeah, she may have been dragged away by the fucking English. So you never know.
Fuck the Queen.
Yeah, while they're screaming that. So that's just what half the country songs would be in Ireland, just different versions of Fuck the Queen.
While I drown in fucking whiskey.
So Danny McChesney, in between Irish crooning country hits, he said, it's not as bad as the big cities, but we have our own little element around here. You don't have to be a criminal to get caught up in it. You can almost seem like one trying to get out. So I guess it can almost seem like a criminal trying to get out. I don't know what that means. But they said that Alan has some friends that are of suspect character, is what his football coach at Bethel High School said. He said, not all of them, but a lot of them are suspect. Alan, however, is not. He's a genuinely good kid who's very smart. His biggest problem is that he's loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
And there's a certain thing that if you're being successful and other people around you don't have the gifts that you have as far as being able to be successful, your talents and shit like that, you start to feel bad. And this happened a little bit with us, with comedians that we know, that you start to feel bad because you're doing well, and if they're not, and then it becomes like a weird bitterness toward you that you feel like you need to be extra nice because if you're not, then you're acting like you're too good, and they're looking for any reason, any crack to say, well, yeah, you're too fucking good now. So. Right. There's a lot of pressure on somebody like that, and we just said you can go fuck yourself, but it might be different if you actually are growing up with these people and not just doing open mics.
And this stuff also lends to the similar and parallel lifestyle that Marshawn Lynch leads. It's a very similar thing of growing up that way. You constantly want to go back to help. And it's not necessarily even just to help the guys that you knew. It's also kind of to go back and help kids that you have no idea who their family is, but to give them a little better chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. So, yeah. Gary Moore here is a guy. I guess he apparently, during his sophomore year of school, I guess he was like looking out for him. This article called him a surrogate father. I don't know. That seems a little much, but he said his.
That's not a thing.
That's a lot. There's a lot of responsibility there. He says about Alan's home life, or his home in particular, it was wherever he ended up being. He said it's been that way for him for a long time. With his mama struggling to pay bills and no father figure, his friends played the role of friends, fathers, brothers, etc. Yeah. So, just looking for people. He said, people need to understand that he's intensely loyal. If you're a friend of Alan's, it stays that way for life. I don't care what you're doing or who you're with, he'll stand by your side because that's the way he is. He won't change because of money or because of status. He'll only change if you prove to be something other than his friend or if you're harming his family.
Okay.
He's loyal. I get it. I'm a fucking guinea. I understand these things. This is good. So he's loyal. Now, here comes the main issue of Alan's young life here. Oh. It's Valentine's Day, February the 14th, 1993, and it is the Circle Lanes Bowling Center in Hampton, Virginia.
Yep.
It's a fucking bowling alley. So, I mean, it's a bowling alley. That's where they're hanging out.
In 93, that's what every 16-year-old did.
That's what they were doing. There's not a lot to do around here. Mm-hmm. There's the bowling alley. You can bowl. That's where girls are. You can get some fucking nachos. It's. I get it. It's somewhere to hang out. And it's February, too. It's chilly outside. Not like you can go hang out outside somewhere, so it's something to do. Apparently, there's a couple different groups of people in this. There's a lot of people there that night. As the night gets later, there's a few different groups, especially a couple different groups bowling. They're nowhere near each other, apparently. There's Alan. He's got a few friends that he's with that we'll talk about. And then there's another group of people that are bowling also there.
Uh-oh.
Now,
have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
Apparently, during all this, a large fight breaks out, okay?
Of course.
And it breaks down on racial lines as well. It's a group of white kids fighting a group of black kids, and that's how that whole thing works. Now, quickly here, we'll kind of tell this from a couple different angles because this is one of those where there's like 5 different people's stories and then there's the truth is somewhere in there somewhere.
Oh, and none of them match.
I don't think that anybody's stories are 100% true, and I don't think that anybody's stories are 100% false, and I don't know who's telling lies to tell lies, and I don't know who's telling lies because in a brawl riot situation with 30 people, things go fast and you don't remember what the fuck happened. It's like a car accident. So you don't know. You don't know what people's motivations are here. So, but the allegation is that during the fight, Alan hit a young girl in the head with a chair. Not a child, but like a teenage
16-year-old girl. Right.
Hit her in the head with a chair and busted her head open and shit. So that's the accusation, and that's the whole thing that comes here. And there's a whole documentary about this crossover. It's a 30 for 30. It's directed by Steve James, Jimmy, who is
that right?
That's Stevie's
Hoop
director.
Dreams.
And Hoop Dreams. So, yeah, that's who does it. It's very interesting. So, now, Brandon Smith is a bowling alley employee. He says that he saw Iverson hit the woman with a chair. He said when he tried to intervene, Iverson hit him with a chair as well and broke his glasses. So he's ahead of his time. This is 93, so this is pre, wrestlers constantly hitting each other with chairs.
And chairs being thrown at Jerry Springer guests.
Totally, absolutely. They were still nice back then.
But post Geraldo Rivera losing a nose to it?
Absolutely. That was like 89. So maybe that's where he got the idea.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't know if it's true or not because there's a lot of things, self-serving shit going on here. So the woman is knocked unconscious and suffered a lacerated scalp requiring 6 stitches. In the brawl, another guy had a broken arm and some woman broke her thumb somehow. I don't know. So, by the way, here is a story from a newspaper about that night. And this is how it was being played in the press. And it was being played very much like Allen Iverson came in there and said, let's beat some crackers with chairs. Like that was the whole point of. They didn't even want to bowl. They just they brought
their own chairs.
They did. They took out a foreign object. So here's a story. Quote, my God, I love it's so dramatic, these fucking articles. This is Allen Iverson has the opposite of fluff pieces, by the way. Most people have fluff pieces. Most people have fluff pieces. All of his pieces are like, this is how bad of a guy Allen Iverson is. He's
detrimental pieces.
There was a whole industry in there, like a cottage industry of hating Allen Iverson and writing stories about Allen Iverson that people would then buy because they hated Allen Iverson. It's fucking.
Do you think that was the demonizing of the gang culture because they thought Allen Iverson was a gangster?
It was the 90s. Yeah, it was the 90s.
Yeah.
It was the whole thing of that. That's all it was. It's these damn gangster culture. That's what they would say all the time. And you'll hear that repeatedly.
Baggy basketball shorts and talks with a southern accent.
And hangs out with other black guys. So
what's that black guy with all those black guys?
Yeah. No fucking shit. So here's the story. Quote, for Julia Weaver, the rest of the bowling alley staff, it had been a long, busy night. Throughout the evening, she had hustled to keep up with a crunch of shoe rentals and lane seekers. It's
a Friday night.
It's a Friday night at the bowling alley.
What do you expect?
But I mean, that's what I mean. They have to set the scene like it's keep up with the crush of shoe rentals. What do you get? 12? There you go. $2. How fucking hard is that?
Spray the shit in the used ones. Let's go.
Not that hard. In between, she'd announce the evening's high games, hand out prizes, and talk up the alley's promotions over a loudspeaker. So she's the hype man here for it. She'd also had to keep her eye on one group of bowlers who'd been goofing off on lanes 9 and 10. Twice, she dispatched Brandon Smith to ask one teen, later identified as Michael Simmons, not to stand on the chairs. They're standing on chairs, Jimmy. My God. Call the National Guard, not chairs. Twice. He just keeps standing on those hard plastic chairs that you can just spray down and wipe off. He keeps standing on them. I know a kid peed on it 3 hours ago, but still, he can't stand on it.
Right. The old men are farting on them, which is worse.
Constantly. Beer fart, fucking burning them right into it. Later, she went to the lanes herself to tell another teen to stop bowling on a lane that had been shut off. To Smith's amazement, Weaver didn't know who the teen was. To Brandon Smith's amazement, this woman didn't know. Come on, you know who that is, Smith told her. Man, that's Bubba Chuck.
Okay.
So that was
Allen Iverson.
That was the nickname. Even in the newspaper, they called him that. Mm-hmm. He said, Allen Iverson, he's in the paper all the time. And the guy, Brandon Smith, this woman said that he was saying how great Iverson was. And holy shit, this dude, because he went to school with him. He's like, dude, he's like the best athlete we've ever fucking had. This guy wins championships in both sports. That's wild. But it says here, Weaver was more concerned with getting through the night. Now, as midnight approached, she was relieved it was almost over. It was then that she saw trouble brewing near Forrest's end of the building. Trouble brewing. Yeah. Okay. This is the Steve Forrest crew here, of the guys. Here's what the article says about them. Quote, they always bowled 3 games.
What the fuck?
Let's set the tone here. They always bowled 3 games.
And they were in the 10th frame of the 3rd game.
For about a year, that was the routine. On Saturday night, they'd go to Circle Lanes in Hampton, drink a few beers, and bowl 3 games.
They're children?
I believe they're all underage, yes, but that's fine.
What are we doing?
Who cares? It's a bowling alley.
Right.
There's no rules in a bowling alley. That's the thing.
That's true.
There really isn't. There is no rules in a bar. It's not a bar because there's like bowling and like video games and stuff, so it feels like you're in this otherworldly thing, almost like you're in somebody's basement.
Right.
That's what it feels like. Give the kid a goddamn beer, for Christ's sake. He mowed the lawn. That's what it feels like.
I got fired from one, and I put my wrong Social Security number when I got hired. I got a letter like 3 years later asking if I wanted the $12.83 for Social Security put into my don't. I was like, who gives a shit?
I don't care what you do with it.
I'm not putting a stamp on an envelope for this.
So I can get $12 45 years from now. No,
my
thanks.
Contribution. Who gives a shit? Put it in that guy's Social Security number. Then who gives a shit?
Cost me 45 cents now to get $12 40 years from now. This is a crazy
I inverted my middle number.
Jesus Christ. You're a mess.
Yeah, I'm a mess. I didn't know my own Social Security number.
As a kid, though, I remember not knowing it either because you didn't need it that much as a kid. How old were you? Was this a teenage job?
I was, it was the job after I got robbed at the pizza place, and I quit because of that. So I went over there. It was right next door, literally
teenage
right next
jobs.
door.
Teenage jobs, I remember. Oh, so it was much safer. That's good.
Yeah, I made a real conscious decision.
Good deal. Teenage jobs, you don't remember that shit though.
If they're robbing businesses, this one's next door. It's probably the next one that's going to get in.
Hey, what about the one next door? They look soft. Oh, it's that kid again.
They're real soft.
So to drink a few beers and bowl 3 games.
Yeah.
They always bowled 3 games. Remember that.
Fascinating.
That night, they decided to bowl 4.
Oh, they should have got out.
We wish we wouldn't. We wish we hadn't, of course, Steve Forrest says now.
Okay.
While Forrest and his friends from Pocuswan, I guess that's the high school or the town, I don't know where the fuck they're from, bowled on one end of the alley. Bethel High School sports star Allen Iverson and his friends bowled at the other. Iverson's group horsed around. Michael Simmons stood on a chair. Iverson kept bowling after his lane was turned off. Employees told both of them to stop. Almost like teenagers. Weird.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're teenagers, like in a place. I get that they're being shitheads, but there's
no parental supervision. They're going to do what they do.
I would have done the same thing. If you're going to take teenagers' money as a business, part of that is they're going to stand on the chairs. Shit. Yeah. It happens,
I used to bowl between my legs as a joke, and we turn the bumpers on and blast the ball down the lane.
What I mean.
Bent the shit out of those bumpers. Sorry about it. You got $11 from me. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's what I get for $11. I get to break whatever I want for $11. Don't you understand how this works?
Make me bring my parents.
Make it tougher then. Make it harder to break. On a lane between Forrest and Iverson, Kevin Fife was bowling the game of his life.
Oh.
Strike, spare, strike, spare, strike, strike, spare. He had 1 frame to go. His girlfriend, Christy Alligood, was bowling. Then it would be his turn. Not far away, Teresa Woolston, a snack bar worker, plopped down at the table to count her tips. They're really setting the scene here. It had been a busy night. Her customers, both black and white, had been friendly. People seemed to be enjoying themselves. Pins crashed. Bowlers cheered.
Why do we got to put the race?
God. Well, because
her customers were nice.
This whole thing is racial. That's why. The whole entire, I mean, it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
The whole 90s Allen Iverson thing, there's a lot to it that can only be fucking prescribed to. That is, you probably don't like black people that much if you feel that strongly about a guy just because you don't like his hair and you think his shorts look weird. Like, you got to really, it's the truth. We were there, and I remember how it was, and it was very like anybody who wasn't Carlton, they'd be like, he's Tupac. That's what people were. You're either Carlton or Tupac. You couldn't fucking win in the 90s if you were a black guy. It's true.
It's true, yeah.
In terms of like the media and sports culture and everything like that, that's how it was. You were either one of the good guys or a thug. You couldn't be just a normal person. You had to be either Warren Moon until he beat his wife or Allen Iverson. So, anyway, Here we go. It was midnight, February 14th, with the lights down low. Moonlight bowling drew to a close.
Yeah.
How the fight began and what happened afterwards remains subjects of intense debate. Of course it does. To this day. Forrest, who was injured, tells one story. Iverson tells another. Both versions are backed by witnesses. Okay. In Steve Forrest's version, he and his friends were wrapping up their fourth and final game. They're in the 10th frame. As Iverson approached their end of the bowling alley. "What's your problem?" Iverson asked, some obscene words thrown in. "What are you looking at?" At first, people in Forrest's group didn't know if Iverson was talking to them or someone else. When it became clear Iverson was talking to them, Forrest said he stood up and told Iverson they didn't have any problem and they didn't want any trouble. They're actually about to leave. I knew I was getting set up for something, it seemed like, Forrest said. Witnesses said Michael Simmons, Iverson's friend, came up and blindsided Forrest, punching him in the back of the head, and that's when all hell broke loose. That's not the way Allen Iverson tells it, though. At his trial, we'll talk about later on, Iverson said he walked from lanes 9 and 10, where he'd been bowling, to the snack bar at the alley's other end. He was with Dwayne Campbell, a friend. Some people at the snack bar, sitting near the snack bar, were talking loud, Iverson said. He walked over, and a white man stood up. The man, alleged by defense attorneys to be Forrest, called him an N-word and a little boy.
Oh,
Iverson said. Quote, "He was in my face like almost touching," Iverson said. "I told him he wasn't going to do nothing to me," Iverson said. "The man swung a chair and hit him on the head," Iverson said. "Then somebody grabbed him and took him outside. He didn't throw a chair or a punch at anybody," Iverson said. When interviewed last week, Forrest said he didn't call Iverson or anybody else at the alley a racial slur. Most Saturday nights, blacks outnumber whites at the bowling alley, Forrest said. Quote, "If anybody thinks I'm crazy enough to stand up at Circle Lanes at midnight and say N-word, well, I'm just not that stupid." Now, witnesses... Here's another witness here, the woman, quote, "Like Forrest, she never saw the first punch thrown. What she did see was Melvin Stevens Jr. streak from the spot of the commotion to the alley's opposite end and return with a group of friends. There, counting her tips at a table near the entrance, Teresa Woolston had been oblivious to all of it until she heard the crash. I looked up," recalls Woolston. Almost directly in front of her, a group of black teenagers had swarmed toward a group of white people. Straining to see through the crowd, she saw 2 or 3 white men surrounded by the black teens. It looked like they were getting ready to duke it out, she recalls, and all of a sudden everybody was involved. She heard shouts, the screams. Before she could make sense of what was happening, chairs began to fly. Woolston scooped up her tips, screaming, "Stop it, stop it." Fleeing from the kitchen, she leaned against a metal door and recalls thinking, "My God, what are they doing?" From inside the kitchen, she heard chairs crashing, tables flipping. She tried to keep a fellow snack bar worker, Joy Hasgard, from going out into the fray. If they had to, she thought they could escape out the back door. It's not on fire.
She needs an escape route?
It's fucking teenagers fighting. You know what I mean? Another snack bar worker, Monica Hughes, had been up in the kitchen when quote, "The next thing I knew, the whole bowling alley was in an uproar."
Oh, boy.
She said she looked out and saw, plain as day, Allen Iverson fling a chair at a woman. She watched the woman fall in a heap. Later, she would tell detectives she hadn't seen much, fearing the repercussions of getting involved. Yeah, that's the way they put it there. But what happened is when they were asking later on, she never said that this happened. And then all of a sudden in court, now she's saying, "I saw him throw a fucking chair." And she's like, "I didn't want to say anything because I was afraid." You were afraid of a teenager? A bunch of fucking
The other part
kids?
is, who gives a fuck what happened? If you didn't see how it started, they shouldn't take your statement. I get that they need that for like corroboration of details.
You could fill stuff in.
Yeah, but if people didn't see it start, it does it really matter who did what?
That's the other thing. You have no idea. It's a good point. But I mean,
who's defending who and who's defending what? You don't know if you didn't see how this shit started.
It's just very interesting that one of the people that will be involved in this is one of the workers, and then all of a sudden, when she finds that out later on, then the story is different to support him. So that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm not, I don't know, but. She said, but, Hughes said, "I never saw her get whacked with that chair, and Iverson was the assailant." "Oh, I saw her get whacked with that chair," she said, "and Iverson was the assailant," she said. "I'll never forget that face." The manager,
he is a handsome guy.
The manager that night, Ben Bally, pulled the fucking cash cab into the bowling alley parking lot and decided to get down.
So
he's a big guy. He's like 6'7". He can go in there and fucking push some kids aside.
Who was the first monarch of England?
And they're like, what? And then he starts punching teenagers. Pow, pow, take that. The chairs are from me, motherfuckers. Yeah.
The lights just start going. If you get this answer wrong, I'm going to knock your lights out.
Man. Everybody says he's a very nice guy, by the way.
I've been told that, too.
I've heard not a bad word about him in comedy.
Absolute angel.
Yeah, that he's a very sweet man.
So much so that they were planning on redoing Cash Cab with a different person, and every comedian came to his aid and were like, if you do that to him, we swear to fuck.
Yeah.
We will burn down the industry. For Ben Bailey.
He's a nice guy. People like him.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart of a man.
So the manager that night, Ben Bally, jumped in screaming, everybody out of the building. Yeah. Quote, I was trying to get them separated, he said, so I could get one group over here and one group over there and me in the middle. That doesn't sound safe. You guys fight it out. I'm not getting in the middle of you fucking morons.
How big is Ben Bailey?
He's big. In real life, he's like 6'7". Maybe 6'7". It is really Ben Bally. Maybe when he was trying to be a comedian back in the day, he was managing a bowling alley sometimes. You never know.
He is from Boston. That's close.
It's not really, but it's down the east coast. It's 1,000 miles away, but that's fine. 800 miles away.
Is it that far?
Probably 800 miles away or something. I don't know. So he's something. He said Woolston, or this is the article, suddenly as quickly as it started, the fight seemed to stop. Woolston peeked out and saw that the blacks had left.
Jesus.
It's a weird sentence to write.
That sentence, is it?
That the blacks had left, the whites, and it says saw the blacks had left, the whites had stayed behind. It's
as innocuous as it is, it feels very racist.
It's just, it's funny.
It's very. It tells a story.
It's you see what's happening. Amazed at the swift rise and fall of the violence, she emerged from the kitchen and walked toward an abandoned war zone of overturned chairs and tables. Okay. War zone, like there's things smoking. Watch out for the IEDs. There's landmines still active. Jesus. Hughes walked out with her carrying ice for the woman who'd been knocked to the floor, Barbara Steele. I had to get the tables out of the way to see if she was all right, Hughes said. Steele lay bleeding from the head, her eyes glazed. I had some ice, but ice wasn't going to do much good. I thought she was going to die.
I had to do surgery.
Next thing you know, I got a scalpel. Or at least what we used to cut the Velveeta to put on the nachos.
An hour ago, she was deep frying chicken. Now she deserves a Purple Heart.
Wow. Suddenly, Hughes said, another larger group of blacks appeared. Heading the group, she said, was Iverson. He's the one I saw coming in behind me, she said. I saw him leading the group. By this time, Hughes, Woolston, and Weaver all say they saw a white person being the aggressor. A woman, whom Woolston describes as having straight, medium-length brown hair, stormed up to one of the black teens and got in his face. She had her chest up against his and was saying, oh, you think that's funny? You think that's funny? Woolston cringed as she watched. She was like, oh, this isn't going to end well. The thinking in my mind was that she must be nuts because there's no way I'd confront a man, black or white, like that. I don't believe in a man hitting a woman any time, but she was very pushy. She just said, I mean, she was to the point where, vagina or not, she's getting a shot to the fucking mouth here. She's getting a little pushy. Like that.
If she'd got blasted, I'd understood.
I don't believe in that. She had to. I don't believe in it, but she was very pushy, is what I'm just saying. That's an amazing.
She did say but.
What a coda on that one. Wow, that is wild. But she was very pushy. I'm just saying. So then the other guy jumps in. Hughes agreed. She was pointing right in his face, she recalled. Oh, that's another woman, Hughes. Woolston said the black male, whom she could not identify, said, quote, get out of my face, bitch.
That was a very 93 term.
Yeah, out of my face, bitch. Then Woolston said she pushed him, he pushed her, and then it exploded and happened all over again. What is wrong with this girl? Like, you're not physically fight. Don't push people you don't intend to physically fight.
Right.
That's a thing. That's one thing. Don't do that, especially strangers you don't know. Maybe she can push her boyfriend and he'll take it, but you don't know if this guy's like, okay, you push me now. I don't give a fuck who you are, and there's people out there that don't give a fuck. Don't test people.
There's a thing called self-defense, and if that's not one of your, if that's a stranger, don't put your fucking hands on a stranger.
That's what I'm saying. Don't know physically touch people.
What their morals are. Whether or not they hit women, and B, if you hit somebody by putting your hands on them, doesn't matter your gender. At that point, they're defending themselves.
That's the problem here. So apparently, and she goes on, Woolston, to say this time it was worse. Tables flipped, chairs are flying, people were running in circles. That sounds silly. At some point, Weaver snatched a telephone from its hook and dialed 911. She just says she called 911, snatched a telephone from its hook and dialed 911 like it was dangling above her head and she had to climb. 911, help me. Fucking ridiculous. Yeah, that's what she made it sound like. She had like a gun hanging off her back, no shoes on, climbing up a fucking ladder with broken rungs to get to a phone, dangling off a hook like it's a Money in the Bank thing in WWE or something. What the fuck?
with 2-3 ribs exposed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Jesus Christ, bleeding from the forehead. A camcorder.
Had a bad fucking day. I have a bad fucking headache.
A camcorder laying on the counter taped her pacing back and forth. Yeah, a lot of this is on tape. That's the thing.
Wow.
Here. The tape shows her screaming, "Oh my God," into the phone. That's all she did. The fight spilled into several lanes. Frightened onlookers, both white and black, sought refuge by running down the alleys. Some hid among the pins. They were diving back behind the pins. People were diving into the underbelly of the bowling alley. You don't know what's in there.
Down the lane.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
There's a machine back there.
That's what I'm saying. It's processes bowling balls and shit. They just fucking did that. I don't know. So they did that. Dawn Westmoreland, who is white, said she and other nearby bowlers, both black and white, ran to the opposite end of the building. I felt like I could have easily been killed, she said. There was no stopping it. A videotape captured some of the most violent moments. A 10-second slice, among the only clear moments, shows a group of black teens showering a small group of white people with chairs. One white man, standing in the center of the melee, topples after a chair slams into the back of his head. A man throws downward punches at someone. Another man, carrying a chair, runs from off camera toward the crowd, weaving among the people.
Just carrying a chair ready to drill somebody.
It is a melee, I will say that. This shit
sounds like it.
A fucking melee. He throws the chair, picks up another, and throws it. A white woman, stooping over, throws a chair. As she straightens up, she disappears under a 2-chair barrage. She threw one and got 2 back for her troubles. Holy shit. Now, during the brawl, it goes on to say, Steele, a bowler in Allagood's group, in that one group that we talked about, gets hit over the head with a chair and is knocked unconscious. Prosecutors are going to say that Iverson hit her. All right. Her wound would require 6 stitches to sew up, and she later suffered amnesia. Members of Allagood's group had not known Iverson, did not know Forrest, and did not know how the fight started. They had only been just bowling a few lanes away, and that's how they got involved. Smith, the bowling alley employee, sees Iverson hit a woman over the head with a chair, according to his later testimony, and Smith says he tries to help the woman, but Iverson hits him in the face with a chair, breaking his glasses. Forrest suffers a broken arm when he gets hit by a chair as well. Lori Clark, a member of Forrest's group, breaks her thumb while trying to fend off a chair. She also gets a black eye. Dennis Clark gets attacked twice and is pelted with chairs, fists, and feet. The second attack takes place when he tries to help Steele, his girlfriend. Clark suffers about 8 knots on his head, bruises all over his body, and a swollen ankle. Witnesses later estimated about 8 people pummeled Clark at once. Bob Wilkes Jr., a member of Allagood's group, tried to help a woman who was being attacked. He got hit with a chair or a fist and is knocked unconscious. A friend grabs Wilkes and removes him from the fray. He comes to, only to get knocked out again.
Oh, no.
This guy's going to have fucking CTE from this one night. He's not even an athlete.
Knocked unconscious, woken up, knocked out again.
When he comes to yet again, he tries to escape by running onto the lanes. Once there, he's attacked with fist, chairs, and kicks and is knocked unconscious for a third time.
Oh, my God. Knocked out again.
My God. Before being knocked out, Steele approaches Iverson and asks why he doesn't stop the fighting. Who the fuck is he? There's 40 people in a brawl. What's he going to do? Stand up on a chair? Bubba Chuck says to stop. Like, that's not going to happen. It's a fucking brawl.
Broker peace. Come on.
She asks him, quote, why does this have to be racial? She asks him, according to her court testimony. Allagood stands near Steele. Iverson puts 2 fingers on one of Allagood's cheeks and pushes her face to the side, she says. Allagood escapes injury during the brawl when her boyfriend, Kevin Fife, takes her down into the pins. Into the pins.
Are these short lanes? How are they? And those lanes are oiled.
They're oiled to shit. You'd be falling all over the place. Oh, bowling shoes. You got those bowling shoes on.
Yeah, how are you going to get down there?
I don't know. They're doing it, though. Allagood escapes injury when takes her into the pins. 4 black males then chase Fife across the lanes, according to Allagood. Petrified, said Allagood when asked how she felt that night. The first thing that went through my mind was that I hoped nobody had a gun. It was the scariest moment of my life, easily. We can say it till we're blue in the face, but people will never know how bad it was that night.
I understand the panic when you see those
a fucking riot
happen,
yeah.
Man. It's scary. It really is. And
it is a riot.
Where's the guy? Somebody to get some fucking order here, but. Yeah. Don't worry. It'll only last a minute. It's not long.
I worked at a bar in downtown Phoenix, one of the giant ones there. I was a bouncer, and there was a fucking riot after a giant motocross event at the arena.
Oh, dear God.
And
those guys are a nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Their fucking fans are just the classiest you're ever going to get.
They're fueled up on Monster Energy drink.
And booze, because by then, it was such a big riot, they had fucking police helicopters were overhead and shit. It was a fucking insane scene. It's scary. It's fucking terrifying. So, also, the Arizona Rattlers started a fucking riot amongst themselves, which was interesting. The Arena League team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
That makes sense.
Well, the receiver had a broken beer bottle that he was going to stab the quarterback with for being mean to his sister. And we were supposed to fix this. I'm like, that's their fucking problem. They're on the same team. I don't care about this at all. Fuck them.
Take that to the locker room, fellas.
I said, call one of their coaches. This isn't my fucking problem.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of receivers down here? Get him down here. I'm fucking not my problem. So
get the offensive coordinator, anybody.
Yeah, not me. Tell you that much. So as the fight was over, a young black woman knelt by Steele, daubed her face with napkins, and began wrapping her head wound to stop the bleeding. Steele's boyfriend, Dennis Clark, removed his shirt and used it to use for a wrap. Clark and the black woman comforted Steele until the ambulance arrived. The black woman held Steele's hand. That night really meant a lot to all of us, that she was there in the middle of a racially motivated fight and she was putting towels and napkins on Barbara's head. Well, she wasn't in the fight. After Steele was taken away, the black woman approached Allagood. She came over and grabbed my hand and said, "Your friend will be okay. I think she's all right." She's just a nice person. It's shocking that this black lady was a nice person. Wow. Weird.
Can't believe she gave a shit about other people.
Holy shit. Steele and the others didn't learn the woman's name that night, Allagood said, but they've wanted to find her ever since so they could thank her for her kindness. For the next week, that was the thing we kept saying. That was so nice of that girl. Says Steele, I wish I knew who that lady was so I could thank her. I don't remember it, though. Okay. Steele remembers little of the night after being hit on the head, a blow she never saw coming. Woolston, the snack bar worker, walked out and surveyed the damage. Weaver met her among what would later be called a war zone. Weaver remembers thinking, is somebody lying dead? One by one, with the help of other employees, Woolston began tipping the tables upright, and she and the others retrieved chairs from the pit areas and lanes. Said Woolston, if those chairs would have been bullets, there would have been a lot of dead people.
Oh, for God's sake.
If anything is bullets, there's a lot of dead people.
I'll tell you what, James, if those chairs were all nuclear weapons, this whole town would have been gone.
Everything would have been dead. D.C. would have been wiped out.
What are we doing?
When the leaves fall from the trees, go, if those were bullets, we'd all be dead by now, and see what people say to you. What are you talking about? Watch a boxing match and go, if those punches were bullets, those guys would both be dead. Yeah, they would.
If all these Skittles were fentanyl.
That's it. Go to Taco Bell. They gave me 4 fucking fire sauces. If these fire sauces had been bullets, I'd be dead. Although I'm eating Taco Bell, so that's
almost
tenuous as it is. So
ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Cups, paper plates, and napkins littered the floor. There was blood and beer everywhere, Hughes said. Drained, Woolston returned to the snack bar. Then a touch of absurdity. "Where's my grilled cheese sandwich?" a woman demanded.
I'm hungry.
That's awesome. That would be me. I'm fucking high still, so I want my grilled cheese. I don't give a shit about any of this.
$2.75. Give me it.
Yeah. "Burned," Woolston said. "I'll probably have to make you another one." You think? Later, as the crew put the...
That's the best way. Hand it over.
It's going to be delicious. It's crunchy. Yeah. Give it over.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles...
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
"You touch my kids, I will kill you."
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles...
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
"You touch my kids, I will kill you."
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Later, as the crew put the room back together, Woolston recalls hearing a song played over and over in the background. I remember after it was over, somebody kept playing Michael Jackson's Black or White on the jukebox. She said.
Who is that genius?
And it's saying over and over, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, as long as you're 9. You can't hear that part, but it's very subtle. If you're black or white, as long as you're 9. It's as long as you got no pubes. Show me your butthole. And it goes.
As long as you're smooth down there, that's all I care.
After what happened, it seemed kind of comical. After seeing what I had just seen, it doesn't matter.
It's pretty awesome. I want to know what genius just went over there and dumped money in and pressed B16, yeah. B16, B16.
Just played fucking $5 worth of Black or White. And the funny thing would be like that. The John Mulaney joke would be every time it stopped, you'd wait a second and a half. And then the fuck, it's that again. You know it's gonna fucking every time. You know how it starts every fucking time.
I would fall over.
Everybody would stop with. Think of it. You'd stop what you're doing. Everybody, there'd be all this table movement. And everybody would stop. 1, 2. Fucking goddamn it. Some people going shit, and some people dying laughing, and you know.
How much did they pay? They're a genius.
God damn it! It had to be one of you.
That is amazing.
Now, all of this, and the police are called, like we said, 911. Yeah. So when there's 30 people fighting, you can imagine there are quite a few arrests. Boy. How many people do you think were arrested here, Jimmy?
Every last one of them. 25?
No.
11?
4.
What are their names, James?
Alan Iverson and his 3 friends. Those are their names.
Of course.
I'll tell you their names here in a second. Those are the only people that got arrested in this entire melee.
Wow. Wow. People got hit with chairs, and we're going to just call that self-defense?
People everywhere got hit with chairs. It's wild. So Alan says this later on. This is his quote. Well, you know what? This should be in their own words, I think. He's defending himself about swinging chairs. This is, I think, what in their own words was made for.
These are probably not folding chairs. These are probably those fucking
chairs,
fiberglass ones with the round bottom. You know what I'm talking about? Those,
absolutely.
Oh, God.
Big
So
old
heavy.
fucking chairs causing shit.
Metal legs stabbing people.
He said, in their own words, quote, for me to be in a bowling alley where everybody in the whole place know who I am and be cracking people upside the head with chairs and think nothing gonna happen, that's crazy. And what kind of man would I be to hit a girl in the head with a damn chair? I'd rather have him say I hit a man with a chair, not no damn woman.
I need my credit.
Yeah, I'll hit a guy, but I ain't hitting a woman. Which, the only direct thing with the woman was she was up in his face and he put 2 fingers on her face and pushed her away.
Yeah.
So he didn't fuck. And that was in the middle of a brawl. So if he hit women, he would have hit a woman right there. And
I think he would have drilled her.
I think he would have fucking drilled her. So either way, Melvin Stevens, Samuel Wynn, and Michael Simmons and Allen Iverson are the only 4 people arrested in this entire fucking melee. His high school basketball coach, Iverson's, said, quote, they wanted to make an example out of Iverson. And his lawyer, Iverson's lawyer, said by the way, at first he's held with no bond.
What?
No bond. Like he's the fucking
he's a murderer?
Like he's a terrorist. Like that's crazy. His lawyer said only defendants not given bond are capital murderers.
Right.
Yes. Anyway, so he ends up getting out on bond eventually, but the first hearing he gets no bond.
Ridiculous.
He plays in a tournament during all this, in the middle of this. He plays in Indianapolis, and I guess this was the top 125 college prospects played in a 5-day tournament there, and USA Today called him the jewel of the tournament. And the tournament's player selection chairman said every school in the country wants him. Even if he was John Dillinger, they'd take him. So
the chairman said that?
No, this is the chairman. Yeah. The selection chairman.
Hilarious. He's like his chair play is incredible.
He's got great chair. He gives great chair. And we're looking
anybody
at
whose title is chairman, pipe down for this one. Have your speaker say something.
No shit. So if he was Dillinger, they take him. They don't care.
Yeah.
Now 2 days after this, though, he's got court. And the Nike, who's the sponsor of the tournament, pays to fly Iverson back to his trial.
Is that right?
Here, they're paying to fly children to trials. That's pretty funny. The prosecutor, Colleen Kilalea, said that, quote, now it's our turn to just do it since he's been here. Like, you fucking corny asshole. She says here, this is his defense attorney. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the prosecutor again. Mr. Iverson had 2 choices, either stay and participate or get out. He stayed and participated and became a member of the mob. He made the wrong choice. 2 men and a woman were injured during this. This is what the prosecutor said. 2 men and a woman were injured in the fracas, during which black people started hitting whatever white people got in their way.
Well, I mean,
she said this in court.
If everybody that's with you is black and the people that are aggressing you it's pretty easy to know who to fend off.
I guess so, but that was just the way that she put that. It seems a little irresponsible. Iverson, who denied throwing any chairs or punches, said the fight started after somebody called him the N-word and little boy. Iverson's other attorney argued that Iverson shouldn't be convicted. They're charging him with maiming by mob, by the way.
Wow.
You know what maiming by mob was made for? This is what I mean.
Lynching?
This is certainly political because that was a law it's an anti-lynching law from the 1800s in Virginia.
Ridiculous.
And they're using that against them because they think that's kind of amusing, is what that is. That's what they think it is. So he said that no mob existed, is what his lawyer said, at least not the word as defined by law. Iverson and his friends didn't gather to attack others. They came there to bowl. Right. So if they had come there to start a riot, that would be a mob. But they came there to bowl, and then a riot broke out. A mob might have formed.
There's black lights on, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, there's fucking stars up and shit. He said they didn't gather to attack others. There's no common purpose when people come running from everywhere because of the words fight, fight, fight. That's what he says. Now, all the things I just told you are said in court. All those, those are all statements. That's what everybody says. Iverson, he's 17, is found guilty of an adult felony charge of maiming by mob.
Is that right?
Oh, they found him fucking guilty. Yeah. The judge allowed him to remain in his mother's custody until sentencing. While he's there, he can't leave home after 8 o'clock unless it's for work or school. The curfew means he has to miss the AAU 17 and under tournament in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The last year he led the team to a championship, and he won the tournament's most valuable player. So, sentencing comes around. He has no prior convictions for anything. This is a felony, a violent felony. But sentencing guidelines call for a punishment in this for this of 11 years and 10 months for 3 convictions.
Wow.
The state arrives at its guidelines by calculating what others received for the same offenses in the past 5 years. The judge can reject that, obviously, but this is what the prosecution's putting forward. The prosecutor said that they still haven't decided whether she'll ask the judge to put Iverson behind bars. At the sentencing, Iverson's attorney, Herbert Kelly Sr., asked the judge to send Iverson to the Maine Central Institute, a prep boarding school with rigid rules and discipline. They're like a military type of school.
Jesus.
But it also has a nationally known basketball program as well.
Oh.
Iverson had already been accepted to MCI, Kelly said, and Kelly told the judge that sending Iverson to MCI would allow the young man to get away from the spotlight he's under in Hampton while finishing his senior year at a school that demands its students be in bed by 10 p.m. on weekdays and mandates study hall sessions. The lawyer said, let him see how he does, allow him to find a way into the future to contribute to the community. But the prosecutor said, no, he should go to jail because he failed to live up to his legal stipulations when he got pulled over that time. He didn't do his community service. So he should go to prison now because he's not going to do it here either. So Iverson, yeah.
They're
not the same.
They're not. But when he came into when he got into the NBA, there was a whole a hate campaign against him.
Oh, I know. It was huge.
I didn't recognize it. I didn't know it was this.
No, it comes from this, and it was just this whole thing. It was a huge hate campaign, which for us as teenagers at the time were like, oh, we should love him more? Thanks. Cool, we love him
you
now.
You hate that guy? That's my guy.
Yeah. old fucking McFarthead over here says he doesn't like him, so that means I do like him. That's how it was.
He says he's a shithead? That means he's like me, because he also calls me a shithead.
Exactly. Perfect. We're the one and the same. So before sentencing, Iverson addresses the court, and he said, quote, I would like to apologize to my family, friends, and the community for the embarrassment I might have caused them. I do feel bad for what happened that night at the bowling alley. I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody in any situation. Mm-hmm. So the judge sentences him to, Jesus Christ, you, young man, may fuck off. It's 3 charges, 5 years in prison per charge, he sentences him to.
15 years
15,
concurrent?
Then suspends 10 of the 15.
Okay.
So he has to spend 5 years, and with 10 suspended is what the judge
and it's suspended pending if he fucks up after 5 years?
Oh, if he fucks up, they'll slap him right back in prison for 10 years.
This is disgusting.
It's not good. That's why there's a documentary about it. It's crossover the trial of Allen Iverson. It's really fucked up. He will apparently he's supposed to spend 4.5 months in the Hampton City Jail, and then after that he'll be transferred to either the Chesapeake-based St. Bride's or the some other Capon place for penitentiaries. And with good behavior, he could be out of prison though by June '94. Okay. Reaction: his mother said, quote, I'm shocked. It's just unfair to say my boy is a threat to society. I can't believe he won't even get to finish high school. Jesus Christ. Boo Williams, who's his AAU coach, said there's no question this thing was blown way out of proportion. If they're going to prosecute everyone who goes out and hits someone, they couldn't build enough jails. The judge feels the pressure from the other side and is just trying to make an example of Allen Iverson.
I don't disagree because we grew up in this time.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly right.
Bowling alleys, pizza restaurants. These were the places that high school kids congregated after school on Friday nights, and there was always a fucking fight.
Yeah, because
every time.
Every kid. Yes. We're always fighting at the malls. There's always fights. There's always fucking fight. I never went to a goddamn party that didn't at one point, oh, Jesus Christ, there's a goddamn brawl now.
And the kid that always got smacked in the fucking mouth was the kid that had a big mouth and said something that in 2022 you obviously don't say to people, whether it's a gay slur or a racial slur. It happened a lot as a child. I heard them all the time, and that kid got his fucking ass kicked.
There was a real thing in the 90s of, we don't see it now, because now when they do any kind of 90s retrospective, they talk about all the like rap music and talk about all this shit, and it seems like, oh wow, things were so like everybody was listening to everything and everything was so nice in the 90s, but it wasn't like that.
It wasn't.
It was generational. It was generational. It was, we liked all that shit, and the old people hated it.
Hated it.
And hated anyone that made it or liked it. That's how it worked. And it was, oh my God, look at your pants are baggy. You must be a fucking criminal. That's what it was.
And it was a powder keg. It was volatile all the time, and words granted have meanings, but slang terms it wasn't biting and cutting like it is now. And, you know what I mean?
It was just
but it was obvious when a word was being used to cause anger or hatred. And that person, without fail, the guy that was doing it with hate behind it got the living shit beat out of him.
Usually, that's how it worked. That's usually how it fucking worked. Because a lot of people would turn on that person.
Yes.
You know, be like, oh, he's an asshole now. Now, the videotape doesn't come out till after all this shit.
Really?
The videotape comes out, and it's quite inconclusive. Like, a lot of people say you could see at one point in the tape that I guess Allen Iverson was being like escorted out, basically. His friends were like, let's get you the fuck out of here type of deal. So the videotape doesn't exactly match up to everybody's accounts of the night
and stories,
which is going to be every time that something like this happens. If there's a videotape, it won't match up to what anybody says, because none of these people know what's actually happening. So Tom Brokaw becomes the main voice for Allen Iverson, of all people. Tom Brokaw becomes the main voice for Allen Iverson. We're going to go visit him in jail and see what he's doing. I do a bad Tom Brokaw, sorry. So Tom Brokaw is a huge, because he was on the national news at that point, and there was rallies and marches, and this caused a huge uproar in the community. This was not okay here. They wanted all four of these guys out. Brokaw did a special interview with Iverson from the jail, and Iverson was very somber during it, and Brokaw said, quote, "I thought the sentence was surprisingly harsh." So, it was a little harsh. Allen on jail said, quote, "I had to use the whole jail situation as something positive. Going to jail, someone sees something weak in you, they'll exploit it. I never showed any weakness. I just kept going strong until I came out."
That is horrifying.
Yeah, that's he's 17, so that's extra shit.
Horrifying.
Yeah. Now, the prison sentence forced him to complete his senior year of high school at Richard Milburn High School, a school for at-risk students, instead of competing in sports later on, because finally, after 4 months, Iverson is pardoned by Governor Doug Wilder and released from custody. The pressure was too much. There was fucking massive protests. It was the videotape didn't back up what people said. It's really, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look
like
good for you.
an asshole if you leave that kid in there.
If there's any fucking picture of like you in like a Halloween Klan costume from 1968 at that point, you better fucking jump on this, because something happened here. So because of that, he's not allowed to go back to his other school. He has to go to this school, which doesn't have really good sports programs or anything like that. But he's played well enough to where John Thompson's still ready to give him a scholarship at Georgetown, because he's so fucking good. Yeah. Then he goes to court here to try to get it like expunged or whatever. I don't know how you put it, like cleared off. So I guess also he's suing a lawyer. The lawyers are fighting with each other. His lawyers are fighting with each other. There was a $100 million legal malpractice lawsuit filed in Iverson's name.
Wow.
Here, because apparently this lawyer had him do a bench trial, not a jury trial. And this lawyer's like, how fucking stupid are you to not have a jury trial, have a couple of black people on it, and they can see what's going on, and or just regular people who go, this doesn't sound right.
Somebody with a goddamn heart that understands what the fuck happened.
So, they didn't do that, and so they're claiming that, I guess, the mother They basically, he's saying that his mother had a power to sign something for him, like power of attorney type of deal, and Alan didn't know any better.
For a bench trial?
She signed because that's what the lawyer told her to do, and she said, I don't know fucking shit about trials. This guy's supposed to be a good lawyer and all this type of shit. So the lawyers are fighting each other. There's a whole big thing of $100 million going back and forth. It's crazy. Either way, he goes to Georgetown finally. 94-95, and right in the beginning of the season, well, not quite, but in December of 1994, his first child is born.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Tiora is her name. T-I-Ora. So 94-95, the Georgetown Hoyas are 21-10 under Coach John Thompson. They win in the first round of the tournament. They beat Xavier. Then the second round, they beat Weber State. And then finally, they play number 2 seed North Carolina and lose to them. So that'll happen. Still, good run. Allen this year starts 29 out of 30 games, so not too shabby.
Yeah.
He plays 32.2 minutes a game, too. These are 40-minute games. So
good amount of time, yeah.
Averages 20.4 points that year.
Fantastic.
Damn good for a freshman here. 3.3 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 3 steals a game.
Can't tell him to get involved. He is involved.
He's all over the stat sheet. He's got a full stat sheet. He wins Big East Rookie of the Year and is also named to the All-Rookie Tournament First Team. And just wins, not rookie, but just Big East Defensive Player of the Year as well.
Incredible.
Because he's averaging 3 steals a game. People don't remember what sticky D Allen Iverson played. That's the thing.
Boy.
He wasn't tall, so he's not going to block your shot, but he will take your shit. He averaged.
Absolutely.
There's seasons he averaged over 2.5 steals a game in the NBA. I mean, that's impressive, man. 95-96 Georgetown. They go 29-8 that year. Damn good record. Not too shabby at all. First round, they beat Mississippi Valley State. Jesus Christ. 93-56. They beat the shit out of them in the first round. They were a 15 seed. So New Mexico, they beat in the second round. They beat Texas Tech in the third round. And then finally, number 1 UMass knocks them off after that. So not too bad, though. Allen starts all 37 games he plays in, almost 33 minutes a game, averages 25 points, 3.8 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 3.4 steals.
He is unbelievable.
That is crazy. Fuck, that's insane for college. Those are wild numbers. You'd like to see a couple more assists, but who cares?
I mean, he's put as a point guard, scoring like that at will, and then taking the ball from him. He's incredible.
He's insane. So he ends his career as the all-time leader in scoring average at Georgetown, 22.9 per game. He's named a first-team All-American. He's named Big East Defensive Player of the Year, both his seasons there. Yeah. And but he also decides to be the first player ever that played for John Thompson at Georgetown to leave early for the NBA.
Wow, everybody stays, huh?
That's how different shit was back then. This was the beginning of people leaving early. There were still schools like Duke. Duke, it was till like 10 years ago no one had come out early. Wow. Remember? It was like 2005 till somebody came out early. It was crazy. But Georgetown was one of those schools, too, that nobody had come out of yet. He also goes to be a member of the USA World University Games team in 1995. Yeah. Ray Allen and Tim Duncan were on that team as well.
Okay.
Probably a decent squad, I'm going to say here.
I'm sure that was one of the best ever.
Jesus, you could pretty much go 3-on-5 with those 3 guys right there. Holy shit.
That's impressive.
Iverson led all the USA players in scoring, assists, and steals, and he helped lead the team to an undefeated record and a gold medal as well there. So not too bad. 1996 NBA draft.
Yep.
Jimmy, number 1 pick.
Allen Iverson.
It is Allen motherfucking Iverson.
And then Sharif Abdur-Rahim?
Marcus Camby second.
Marcus Camby, that's right.
Camby, yep. Camby.
Who else? There is not a lot
Sharif
in that top 10.
Abdur-Rahim, Stephon Marbury, who we've talked about before, Ray Allen's 5th. A lot of good second-tier players. Yeah. Not second-tier, but not the superstar.
Shitloads
but
of sixth men.
Not even 6 starters, but like not the star of the team. Antoine Walker, Ray Allen. These are... all the same thing. Lorenzen Wright, Kerry Kittles, Samaki Walker, Eric Dampier, Batop and Co. Kobe's number 13, by the way, there.
What?
Yep, Kobe is 13 by the Charlotte Hornets.
Can you imagine? And he didn't even play there, did he?
No. That's why he got picked there. Teams wanted to pick him earlier than that, and he said, "I'm not going there." So Charlotte had worked out a trade with the Lakers already that Charlotte would pick him if he was still available, and they trade for Vlade Divac. That was how that worked.
Wow.
So, Peja Stojakovic goes right after him. Steve Nash, number 15.
No shit.
Jermaine O'Neal, number 17. There are some steals in the mid-round here.
No doubt.
I mean, Steve Nash isn't a fucking lottery pick. You know what I mean?
The second 20 are better, or the second 10 are better than the first 10.
They are. Full careers. They absolutely are. Besides Ray Allen, they absolutely fucking are. That's wild. John Wallace, Walter McCarty. Jesus, the Knicks picked 2 guys that didn't work in a row. God damn it, you guys are fucking Roy Rogers, Derek Fisher.
Can you imagine being so good at anything that you could tell your employers, I'm not going to work there, I will work. I mean, like in this.
When you're 17, you can
when you're
tell.
17 years old.
International conglomerates of men with millions of dollars. I'm not playing there.
No thanks.
Kind of like to play in L.A.,
Wow.
So he goes to Philadelphia 76ers. They pick him number 1. And Allen goes there to a terrible team. Terrible. They were 22-60 his rookie year.
Yikes.
Not good. Let me read you their roster, and you'll understand why. Okay? Here you go. Mark Bradkey, Michael Cage, Adrian Caldwell, an older Derek Coleman, who was, not in his top physical form at this point. Joe Courtney, Mark Davis, Lucius Harris, Mark Hendrickson, Frankie King.
Oh, my God.
Don McLean. Singing American Pie and then coming out here. Bye, this team really sucks.
That was the center, right?
The only guy who's any good. Small forward, Don McLean.
Was he? Okay.
Doug Overton, Jerry Stackhouse, he could still play. Yeah. Stackhouse and Iverson were nasty together. They were nasty. Yeah. Rex Walters, Clarence Witherspoon, and Scott Williams, and Allen Iverson. That's their team. They're not going to win a lot of games.
That is really bad.
Yeah. He gets, in his rookie year, a ton of shit from the media especially and from the league even. Like, everybody is really squeezing him hard. It's bad. He said, I guess there was a memo that was they got from the league. The Sixers got from the league saying his shorts were too long.
Yep.
Shorts are too long. Ankle braces cover too much of his socks. And a lot of his dribbles are carries, so you got to watch out for that. He's going to get trapped. They're going to start calling him for traveling every fucking time he moves. So it's really weird, man. Kobe Bryant had the same length shorts. Nobody cared. Sure you know what I mean? Because he would smile and would could speak Italian. So they were like, look at him. He's international and he's so smiley. And his dad played in the NBA. What
and we
nice
can
guy.
see his shins.
Look at that. Yeah. Hey, look at your shins. They're great. He said. This is Allen. He says, quote, I don't understand. He said, I guess it's just gut check. I guess it's something to test my heart and my character. He said,
it should be more impressive what he did based on how much shit he wore. He had like fucking a
shit
shirt
everywhere.
Sleeve, fucking headband,
because
ankle braces that
he
went
started
to his
all the
knees.
compression shit and all that stuff. That was him because nobody took a beating like that guy.
Right.
He would go to the lane like he was LeBron, like he was a freight train coming through, and you better get out of the way. And people just back then in the 90s, they would just check him to the floor.
Yeah,
it was different back then. If you come in at a center in the 90s, they put their forearm in your ribs and shove you to the ground.
12 pounds of clothes on.
Iverson would score 45 a game now.
Yes,
he really would, because you're not allowed to do that anymore. That would be a flagrant foul now. That back then, that was just how you dealt with Allen Iverson. And
he can rain threes on top of the amazing dribbles.
Nasty.
And he was incredible.
And if threes were more part of the NBA, they always say, people now, the game is great now, but people are always saying, like, back then they couldn't shoot the threes. No, that wasn't the game plan, so they weren't going to spend all their time working on threes when if you shot more than 2 a game, your coach would yell at you. This is not how the coaching went.
Yeah.
So you don't think if Michael Jordan wanted to practice threes, he could hit threes? No, he can hit a fadeaway. He can hit a fadeaway from 21 feet, no problem. But when he goes back behind 23, his brain breaks and he can't do it anymore. No. If that's what the game was, he would have been probably the best at it, or whoever. Anyway, there you go. So So, yeah, he said in the paper, they say, quote, there's been many stories of him driving around in cars worth more than $100,000. Yeah, because he's a young guy who just got.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear what he made this year. You're a young guy. That's what you'd buy. The league security people took note of the company he was keeping and deemed it unsavory.
Okay.
That's what he called unsavory. He says, I know they're not going to say anything to me about being a troublemaker. He says, with all the other guys who've caused trouble in this league, I wouldn't even throw my name out there with all those other guys in this league.
Yeah.
So he's saying, worry about J.R. Ryder getting caught fucking doing stupid shit and worry about all these other guys. I haven't even done
Karl
anything.
Malone is a 15-year-old baby's mama.
Anybody?
Fuck all of you.
Anybody care about that? Oh, no, face of the league. Thanks. Very
Got
good.
it. Okay.
That's good. Well, in Utah, that's not frowned upon. That's why.
You should have 2 by now.
In Utah, it's like, oh, she's got a lot of childbearing years ahead of her, I guess. So, 96, 97, he plays in 76 games, starts 74, 40.1 minutes a game, too. He fucking worked it. Nobody worked on the court. If you watched a game, at the end of the game, you go, Jesus Christ, nobody worked harder in that game than Allen Iverson. Mm-hmm. Nobody. Practice, another story.
Practice?
That's the... I don't know when to put that in there, so we'll talk about it now. That's the greatest thing when the press asks him about practice, and he goes, man, practice? We're talking about practice.
Then his half answers, and then we're talking about practice.
We're talking about practice. Like, I'm averaging 30 a game. You're giving a shit. What do you care if I show up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday? Fuck do you care? What does that matter?
Practice.
You know how bad it hurts to go out there and do what I do? Right. To be the smallest guy on the court and constantly get the shit beaten out of me? It hurts. Fuck practice. It's true. That's what a lot of people quit sports because of practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Emmett Smith, when he quit, he said, I could still play the game. I can't do the practices anymore.
2 a days are brutal.
Just regular days.
1 a day is not good.
I can get beat up on Sunday, but I can't get beat up from fucking Tuesday to Thursday. That I can't do. That's going to hurt too bad. So, Allen, 23.5 points a game. He 4.1 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 2.1 steals.
Oh,
as a rookie. He wins incredible. Rookie of the year, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Wow, he beat Kobe.
Yeah. He beat Kobe. Yeah, Kobe took him a minute to come around. Kobe. He took a lot of dumb shit shots back in the day.
Really?
Kobe was wild his rookie year. He was 17. He was too young to. And back then, him and Kevin Garnett were the only 2 guys really to be doing that. Right, so it was like you have to, he can't start. He's only 17. Like
settle him down. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you played college, it's fine. So he makes $2,267,000 that year, though.
$100,000 car ain't shit.
No,
I got another year to play.
Yeah, especially if you're a kid.
I made that in 11 months. Yeah. What are we talking about?
Shit. The day after getting the trophy, the Rookie of the Year trophy, he's back in Hampton, Virginia, testifying on behalf of a guy who he calls dad, who's not his father. Yeah. That's Michael Freeman, who we talked about. He is a convicted drug dealer. This is his 5th offense, and Allen's in court testifying for him. Now, on the street, people love him. Here is an administrative official, a female administrative official at Bethel High School. Yeah. She said, quote, he is loved around these parts. She said, we will not let him be torn down with any more half-truths and fabrications. You people don't know him at all. You don't know the true Allen Iverson. There you go. A guy who plays football at the school, some kid who goes there, says, hey, it's crazy out there. He's got all that money, all that jewelry, and those nice cars. Somebody around here is going to want it. Plus, he's Allen Iverson. They wouldn't think twice about trying to take him just for jealousy or bragging purposes. So we all understand, because they're saying he wears he has bodyguards and shit with him now. Yeah. So we're like, yeah, what do you want? Now, at one point, so a woman who tutored him after he was released from prison to get his GED, she said, I asked him one time, did God make a mistake with you? Maybe you were given too much for one person to handle. And she said, he's been blessed with so many tremendous skills and so many opportunities that I had to ask him that question. People know that he's a great basketball player, but they don't know that when he got out of jail and he was in school, he taught art in our class. He's a fabulous artist. He's also an excellent writer and a superb thinker. He's extremely patient and slow to speak, but he has something to say when he has answers. But only if he trusts you. If he doesn't, he won't say a word. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a dumb guy at all. So August of 1997, His car is driving, but he's not driving. He's the passenger.
Oh, okay.
He's got one of his boys driving, which, I mean, if had some drinks or something, smart.
Maybe it's a good decision.
It's 1:27 a.m.
Okay.
Near Richmond. Which
I'm sure he's very sober.
Oh, he's very, very sober. They're driving in a Mercedes that he owns, going 93 in a 65, just the middle of the night.
Slow down.
Middle of the night, you get it, you know.
Yeah.
State trooper stopped the car, smelled weed, and in a search of the car, turned up a .45 caliber pistol belonging to Iverson. That was under the seat, so they're calling it concealed because it's under the seat.
That's not good.
And also, they found a joint under his seat, and then another joint in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Okay. The driver is his friend Maduro Earl Hill. He's charged with reckless driving and is released. And another passenger, Damon Stewart, who was in the back seat, he gets charged with possession of marijuana for the joint that was in the back.
That's your weed back there.
It's the one closest. Allen gets arrested for the gun and the weed under his seat.
Mm-hmm.
So, now an issue from his statement issued through his attorney said, on August 3rd, 1997, Allen Iverson did not commit any drug or firearm offense.
Okay.
Did not, in case that's what you were thinking, going off of police reports and things like that. Absolute bullshit. Now, there's a trial. He said he's taking it right to trial. And a spokesman for the 76ers said that club president Pat Croce and the vice president Billy King and coach Larry Brown all will attend the trial if their schedules are clear that day, depending on when the trial is. Yeah, they're going to support him, they said. The spokesman said it's been talked about, but there haven't been any plane tickets bought or travel plans made. When the date is announced, we'll see how things stand.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, though, afterwards, one of the other guys, I'm sure the guy who got charged with the other joint in the back, said, that was my weed too up there.
Yeah.
That wasn't his, that was mine. He's already charged. Who gives a shit? With two joints it's still a misdemeanor. Fucking who cares? So he said it was mine. So that's not going to work in court now. They can't get him. They can't, try him for that if there's someone else saying it belonged to them.
Right.
That's not guilty. And, all of that. And his lawyers are saying that it's a legally registered gun. And it was on the floorboard, it's not concealed. It was in the floor. You could see it. It wasn't, so they're going to argue about that. Now, there's what I like to call a holier than thou. This is the opposite of the fluff piece, a holier than thou. Like a Nancy Grace article, basically, here, about him. Because he got away with that, quote unquote, this says, quote, and yes, he has. Although the lesson is nothing new to Iverson. This is the lesson. There are no consequences.
What? He's been to jail.
It gets worse. What bothers me most about Iverson's arrest last week is also what bothers me about his basketball game, and the two aren't unrelated. But here is where the moral ground starts to shift beneath his feet. Iverson is still a college-age kid, albeit with more experiences than most. College kids make mistakes and occasionally do things that would best go undetected by guys with flashing lights on their car roofs. In other words, when it's time to castigate Iverson, let he without any potential priors chuck the first stone. That said, it would seem prudent for people driving down the road with marijuana in the car to avoid certain overt acts, such as, for instance, going 93 miles per hour. Yeah, that was if I had weed in the car back then, I wasn't going 93 miles an hour.
Right.
But I also didn't have the money to pay for a lawyer, so that was my main concern. If I had money to pay for a lawyer, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck, drive fast. I'll get out of this. Who cares? That's just a rich thing. That's what rich people do,
Even if I don't get out of it, what, $125 fine?
Yeah.
All right, goodbye.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Remember Kingpin? Finally,
Right.
Big Earn is above the law. That's what rich people say. So, he goes on to say, but that's what Iverson and his buddies were allegedly doing at 1:27 a.m. through the Virginia countryside. They might as well have trailed one of those advertising signs that planes pull along the shore. Hey, looky here, bet you can't catch us.
Yeah.
Because when there's no cars on the road and you're driving through the middle of nowhere, nobody speeds.
There's nobody there to catch you, so who gives a shit?
That's the problem. In the same way, there's nothing necessarily wrong with no-look passes behind the back passes and pull-up jumpers from 35 feet. You never did them 35 feet, maybe 25, but not 35.
35 is a distance.
That's like fucking almost half court. Yeah. Executing any of those at full blurring speed, however, is usually a bad idea. More often than not during Iverson's rookie year, that's how he played the game. Gee, a 20-year-old kid didn't have his game polished to fucking, MVP level yet? It's shocking. If Mitch Williams pitched as if his hair were on fire, Allen Iverson ran the point as if his sneakers were ablaze. He piled up a raft of turnovers, alienated any teammates who happened to work hard for position, shot less than 42% from the field, and led his team to a spiffy total of 22 wins. By the way, they had 18 the year before he got there. It wasn't like a good team that he took down. They were a piece of shit team that he made watchable. That's all they were. And what were the consequences of playing that way, everybody? Right, he was voted Rookie of the Year. God forbid he had the best rookie season of anybody. God forbid. Everybody plays like an asshole in the rookie year. Everybody. Yeah. It's just the way it is. Jordan was sloppy in his rookie year. He was trying to do things he shouldn't have been doing. So exactly where is the profit in doing these things in a conservative manner? Where is the danger of going full speed? If throwing the ball into the stands after a gasp-inducing drive down the court leads to an award, then if being arrested after a hazy drive down the road leads to a mild rebuke, why stop doing either one? Well, yeah, don't stop doing either one. I'll leave it to better reformers to worry about Iverson's personal life and the way it might influence the youth of America. Well, you just wrote a whole fucking article about it, Big Mouth.
Also, what are you worried about the youth of America for?
At the moment, the best rebounder in the NBA has a taste for cross-dressing and tattoos.
So what?
The Eagles have a player who drops his drawers in public. I think the kids are generally smart enough to judge those things for themselves. Whom Iverson chooses to be his friends and what he does out of uniform is more his business than ours, like it or not. He'll either slow down or die, but that's his choice too. Die? He's not a crackhead. Jesus Christ.
Dennis Rodman wore a dress. We're all in trouble.
Oh, we're all doomed. The country's going downhill. Dennis Rodman has a dress on. I don't give a fuck what he's wearing.
Look at his fucking hair. Who
Look
cares?
at him. It's green and red. He can't do that. Jesus Christ.
He has tiger stripes.
As a basketball player, however, we get a little more say about him. If Iverson dies, he comes off the scary cap. Comes off the scary cap? I don't know what that means. As long as he's on the active roster, though, it would be nice if he used his skills instead of abused them. That means playing under control, fulfilling the coach's wishes, recognizing his teammates, and at least occasionally sublimating his desire for attention for the greater good of the final score. Okay. How many guys do you write glowingly about that don't do that? Michael Jordan said, there's an eye and win. What are you talking about? Everyone knows Allen Iverson can get away with going fast on and off the court, but that seems really cool. Now let's see if Iverson ever learns the difference between cool and smart. This is what I mean. This is the constant parade. I'm only reading. I usually don't read shit like this, but you have to understand it's a lot, man.
There's a difference between cool and smart. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what he said.
You can't be smart and cool?
Instead. Now, a quote. This is a kid who's a senior in high school at the school he went to. He's a football and basketball star as well. Yeah. And he says, quote, "That's not how it is, man. You don't just walk away from the people that were there for you when you had nothing. If you do that, then you can't ever come back. You don't have to run around with anybody, but it ain't cool to run away either, especially from home." So he's trying to explain why. Now, right at this point, Allen's first son is born.
Oh?
Allen Jr.
You betcha.
God damn it. Jesus, Al. Write an article about that, of how that's bad.
Allen is basically one anyway.
Yeah, he's sort of one. This is Allen Jr. 97-98 Sixers, 31-51. So they're a little bit better under Larry Brown.
It's horrible,
Allen,
but not bad.
It's not bad.
For the Sixers.
For them, they get better every year. Larry Brown he gets like a 5-year plan and he executes it. So that's what you can't just go 18 wins. We're winning the championship next year. You have
That'll do it.
Yeah, because last year was Larry Brown's first year when they won 22, I think, right? Or is this his first year? Yeah, no, okay. So either way, Allen plays in 80 games, starts all 80, 39.4 minutes a game, 22 points, 3.7 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and 2.2 steals a game. He makes $3,128,640 this year.
My God.
Not bad. 98-99, 28-22, because it's a strike shortened season, so that's good.
That's a winning record, babe.
It's a winning record. That's the playoffs. They actually beat Orlando in the first round of the playoffs, a shackless Orlando. He had gone a couple years earlier, 3-1, and then they go to the Pacers. They go to play Indiana, and they get swept by Indiana, who was pretty good at that point. Allen this year, though, He plays in 48 games, 41 and a half minutes a game.
Wow.
And he scores 26.8 points a game, 4.9 rebounds, 4.6 assists, 2.3 steals a game for him this year.
Fucking incredible.
$3,537,000. Also,
is that the Malice in the Palace year?
Pretty incredible. No, that was 2006 or something.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
what year is this? 98? Okay.
98, 99. So 99, 2000, Philly is 49 and 33. Would you look at that?
Hey, 2 years in a row winning.
Larry Brown's plan worked here. So they go to the playoffs. They beat the Hornets 3-1 in the first round, then lose to the Pacers again, this time in 6. Okay. Allen plays in 70 games, starts all of them, almost 41 minutes a game, 28.4 points a game.
Son of a gun.
3.8 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 2.1 steals. So he's had always over 2 steals a game.
And that's the highest scoring point guard in the league, right? He's got
at this point, yeah,
almost
he's
30.
crushing it.
Jesus,
he's crushing it. And there are years he hits 30, as we'll talk about, which is crazy. He makes $9 million this year,
worth every dime,
and he's an all-star as well.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's like 3-year period where his jersey is the number 1 selling jersey in the league. Mm-hmm. This is with Kobe. This is with Michael Jordan. Well, Jordan's retired now, but this is with a bunch of guys like that. Right. Tim Duncan's still around, all those guys. And Iverson.
That jersey is so rad. It's so
a great
cool.
jersey.
Yeah.
It is a great jersey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Now, during the 2000 offseason, Iverson recorded a single.
Oh, Alan, no, you didn't.
Oh yeah, he's not even going under Allen Iverson. He's got a rapper name. He's got a moniker.
Is it The Answer?
Jules with a Z.
Stop it.
Swear to God. His rap single's called 40 Bars.
I hate it.
And he gets criticized for its lyrics and was eventually unable to release it because quote, going under his moniker Jules, the album was alleged to have made derogatory remarks about homosexuals. Uh-huh. That's from an article about it. After criticism from activist groups and NBA Commissioner David Stern, he agreed to change the lyrics, but ultimately never released the album. So, would you like to hear the lyrics?
I am so nervous.
Of 40 Bars? I'm going to have to do a lot of censoring here because there's a lot of slurs and N-words and everything else in here, but I'll dance around it, and I think we need to talk about Allen Iverson. Okay. I should do it like Tom Brokaw.
Yeah.
For the year 2G, the rap game changed for one name.
Oh, boy.
Jules aimed to slain anything on this plane. Sam I am.
Snakes.
Green eggs and ham.
Yeah.
Remains are found when the best-kept secret get heated. You went platinum with a ghostwriter, so in the game, You won. You cheated. My slang bang when you need it. You man enough to pull a gun, be man enough to squeeze it.
Oh,
Very nice.
It's not bad.
And then there's
so
the sound of gunshots, of course. Yeah. It was kind of needed in the 90s in every rap song. Gunshots and a siren that make you go, where's in your car? Fuck. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Am I in trouble?
When you need it. Gunshots. Die if you don't believe it. Anything to do with millions, I'ma be with it. Hats off to the hardcore N-words. Fuck the rest. In my guess, y'all useless, just talking music. Never mistake me for a fake MC. You got the wrong identity. N-word, I'm a CT fool.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What's a CT?
God, I guess this is the chorus here, maybe. Get murdered in a second in the first degree. Come to me with that, with the F gay slur. Tendencies. You'll be sleeping where the maggots be. It rhymes with maggot, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. Ain't nothing. Kinda used to beef, actually. But when it's on, I raise first automatically. Won't catch me as a victim and a rap casualty. Dynasty Raiders hit VA in the summertime, 10 Bentleys in one line. Gats in each hand, twin 45s at mine.
Okay.
Snipers hitting N-word, long distance for a rate. Sons and daughters, one order, you'll be floating in the water.
Okay.
Bad news, home of the Dynasty Raiders. One love to the old school N-words. They in jail trying to raise us. Even the ones that tried to blaze us, but couldn't even graze us. See them bitch-ass N-words, y'all killin' don't amaze us. Y'all slobbin', I'm spitting with a mouthful of rage. Verse 2.
Oh, my God.
You want more? Because you're getting it.
Holy fuck.
Everybody stay fly, get money, kill and fuck bitches.
Why would he say that?
I mean, yeah, I guess, but, it's a weird way.
Fuck bitches.
And fuck bitches. I'm hitting anything in plain view for my riches. Okay. VA's finest, filling up ditches when N-words turn to bitches. He rhymed bitches, riches, bitches again.
Yeah, and ditches.
Die for 0 digits. I'm a giant. Y'all midgets. I know killers that kill for a fee. That'll kill your ass for free. Believe me.
Yeah, don't fuck with me. I knew that was coming.
How you want to die, fast or slowly? Fast as a roly, slow as a roly-poly. I bought your shit, it was weak. Trashed it. Now you owe me. All the hardcore N-words know me. I ain't knocking. I'm just gonna bust up this motherfucker.
Okay.
Taking anything that's rightfully mine's. Lust, AKs, rifles, and 9s. Physique crew, thick designs. With
Look at us, we're hot.
With jewels that shine all the time. That's wonderful. Ain't nothing sweet about this rate of mystique. Got N-words while you eat, shit, sleep, and beat your meat.
That one's not bad.
Die reaching for heat. Leave you leaking in the street.
Oh, gross.
N-word screaming. He was a good boy ever since he was born. But fuck it, he gone. Life must go on. N-words don't live that long.
Oh, my God.
But hoes in wigs N-words that think they headstrong got N-words hollering Jules dead wrong on this song. This type murder don't need no hook, just 40 fucking bars on the mouth of a crook.
Okay. Is it over?
That's the song.
That's a bad song.
That's a bad song. Probably better he didn't release that. But
yeah, thank God. Jesus.
That's that, everybody. That is Allen Iverson's rap song. Yeah, Jules. Sorry, with a Z.
Oh, my God.
2000, 2001, 56 and 26 here for the Sixers. Not too fucking bad here. During this year, Jesus, they beat the Pacers in the first round. They beat the Raptors in 7 in the second round. Go to 7 with the Bucks in the conference finals. And then get the shit stomped out of them by the Lakers in 5, which they didn't have a fucking... They had no business winning a game in that series.
Yeah.
Shaq and Kobe versus Allen Iverson. And that's the whole...
it. Yeah.
And it's just him, man. Now, February of 2001, there's an incident in Indiana with a lot of accusations of racism in the fans. He said that people called him, quote, a monkey and then another racial epithet while he was there.
Jesus.
He said, he ends up getting fined $5,000 for yelling out other things.
Yelling back at them.
He responded with, quote, derogatory remarks about gays that was picked up by NBC's microphones.
Oh, yeah.
So he got in trouble for that.
Threw the F word around.
A little bit there. So that's not good. Now, Derek Anderson, who's on the Spurs, he said, I believe Allen. It's hard to do, but you have to turn the other cheek, just like in the real world, being on the court. They said the Pacers president said that security personnel reported hearing cursing back and forth, but no racial slurs. But Iverson's teammates Eric Snow and Aaron McKee corroborated his story about what they heard. Yeah. They, having heard and read each other other observations from players and coaches about Indiana fans behind the visitors' bench, it seems like this could be true, actually, here. Jeff Van Gundy, the Knicks coach at the time, said that the Pacers fans are the worst he's ever encountered. He said, quote, I've never heard the N-word, but I've heard comments that are certainly racist.
And we play the Celtics a lot.
But we're in Boston all the time, so trust me. Especially people right behind the visitors' bench. They really shouldn't have the right to buy tickets. They dress nice, they appear to be nice, then they cross every bound of civility. You know you're going to take some grief on the road, but that's certainly going too far. They said Patrick Ewing was a frequent target of racial remarks in Indianapolis here.
Yeah, that poor bastard with his fucking head.
Yeah, Anderson said, quote, they say it right to you all over the court. Spurs guards Terry Porter and Steve Kerr said they've never heard racist remarks there. Kerr said, but they are obnoxious. It's definitely one of the worst spots in the league for heckling. They said that another guy said they did call Christian Laettner gay slurs all the time.
He's too pretty. What are you going to do?
They said that he was gay. Matt Bullard said fans were calling Christian a slur. We thought it was pretty inappropriate. One lady said, quote, I'm going to show you my tits and it won't even matter. Ma'am, I salute. That's a good one. You didn't say any. If you said like because you're this and that would be bad. Yeah. But if you just said that, that's a great. Just it's implied, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's not, on its face, it could go either way.
Yeah,
they're either terrible tits or you're just not interested.
Either way. So that's hilarious. Allen plays in 71 games, averages tits, and it won't even matter.
It won't even matter.
That's amazing. Allen averages 42 minutes a game this year, which is insane. 31.1 points a game this year. Leads the league, obviously. He also has 3.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 2.5 steals, leading the league there also. Yep. He's an all-star, and he makes $10,130,000 this year.
My God.
August of 2001, he finally marries his high school sweetheart, Tawana.
$25 million later. Let's tie this up.
Let's hook it up now. They had a reception at the Mansion on Main Street in Voorhees, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And guests were served little iced cookies with the couple's initials T and A in them.
T and A?
T and A. It said T and A. A tits and ass cookie. That's what I was like, T and A. They imprinted that on cookies. T and A, bitches. He was laughing. He's like, she doesn't even realize it. I love it.
Alphabetically, it should go A and T, but for the joke, they went T and A.
T and A.
I'm not mad about it.
They also had a caricaturist there to draw portraits of guests and a clown to entertain the children.
He threw a circus wedding?
He threw a fucking and they handed out candles to everybody for some reason. Okay. I don't know why. So 2001, 2002, Philly, they're 43-39. They lose in the first round of the playoffs to the Celtics. October 2001, a couple months after his wedding, Rashawn Langford, who was his closest friend and a member of his wedding party as well, was shot to death at Newport News that time. Iverson wore a black armband throughout the season with the letters R.A. on it, and he would tap his wrist, tap the armband before he shot a free throw every time. I remember that going, what the fuck is he doing? Now I know. Next year, or that year, I'm sorry, though, wow, this is crazy, man. He's an all-star, plays in 60 games, averages 43.7 minutes a game.
Wow. It's only 48 minutes.
Yeah, leads the league, 31.4 points a game this year. So he gets better, leads the league again, 4.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists. He adds a whole assist to his total, too, and has 2.8 steals a game leading the league as well. That is a monster year. $11,250,000 for that.
Yes.
July of 2002. Okay, here's another problem he has. He's looking for Tawana, all right? Allegedly, he threw his wife out of their house naked, all right?
Oh, Alan.
There was a 911 call from his cousin or his friend or one of his people. It said, yo, they're fighting again. He threw her out of the mansion naked, and it's like the guy said it's happening again. Apparently, he throws her out naked all the time. This is a call, according to this guy. I don't know if that's true or not, but because now she leaves, I guess this happened, so she left. So now the next day, he's looking for her.
Yeah.
When I throw you out naked, you come back when I'm not mad anymore. Is that what he's...
You sleep on the stoop.
What is that about? So he goes to his cousin's house to look for, or his cousin's apartment to look for her.
Yeah.
Charles Jones is the cousin, and then Hakeem Carey is also there. Not Harry Carey, Hakeem Carey, who's 17. He's also there. So there's a child here, okay? Apparently, I guess witnesses said that he, with his gun, threatened the occupants when he couldn't find his wife there. His cousin wasn't there either. So anyway, all right. Here is Hakeem Carey's story, the 17-year-old. This is from the police report. July 3rd, 2002. Hakeem Carey was over at his friend Charles Jones's house at 6235 Chestnut Street. During the early morning hours, Carey heard some knocking at the door. Carey looked through the peephole and saw it was Allen Iverson, the basketball player for the Philadelphia 76ers, with another male later identified as Gregory Iverson. That's his uncle. Carey opened the door a crack, and Allen Iverson said, "Where is Sean?" Carey said, "Sean who?" Allen Iverson pushed the door open into Carey's chest, pushing him back. Allen and Gregory Iverson then entered the apartment without permission. Allen told Carey to sit in the front room while Allen went into the back bedroom where Charles Jones was sleeping. While in the living room, Gregory Iverson asked Carey, "Do you know anything about where Sean and Tawana is?" So he must think his cousin's hanging out with his wife, right. I think is the issue here. Gregory also said, "If you do know anything and you're not telling us, we'll come back for you."
Oh, boy.
That's a lot. Now, while this was occurring, Allen Iverson was in the back bedroom with Charles Jones and was lifting up his shirt, showing a black handgun in his waistband.
What the fuck, man?
Allen Iverson had Jones make several phone calls. After the phone calls, Allen used his T-shirt to wipe off Charles's cell and house phone. Allen Iverson then said, "I'm either going to die or I'm going to jail, and I guarantee you, or I'm either going to die or I'm going to jail, and I guarantee you I'm not going to die."
Oh,
that's scary.
Boy.
Iverson then told Jones to call Tawana back and tell her, "I'm waving a gun in your faces and hitting you." Tell her that. See if she listens then, right? So Tawana called back on the house phone, and Allen and Tawana began arguing about where she was. Allen Iverson said, "Don't make me have to make an example out of these two."
Oh, my God.
You're on the other end going, "Tawana, Jesus." Shortly after this call, Allen and Gregory left and told Jones and Carey not to use the phone. Carey thought Allen Iverson was going to shoot them. On July 10th, 2002, Detective Singleton and Detective Michael Wisniewski showed Carey a photo array and positively identified a photo as Gregory Iverson, who was with Allen. Complainant number 2 is Charles Jones. This is his angle. Charles Jones was asleep in his residence when he was awakened by Allen Iverson standing over him saying, quote, "Where the fuck is Sean? You better find out." Yeah. Huh? What? Jones recognized Allen Iverson as a basketball player from the Philadelphia 76ers and his roommate Sean Bowman's cousin. Imagine you went to sleep and there's no NBA superstar in your house, and then you're awoken by one screaming at you. What the fuck is happening? Is this a weird dream? Like, what the fuck, man? So Allen Iverson told Jones to make calls to find out where his wife and cousin had gone. While this was occurring, Allen was making threats saying you know where they're at and that something is about to happen, something is about to go on. Allen lifted his shirt, showing a black semi-automatic handgun in his waistband, and said, "I'm about to do something." While this was occurring, Hakeem Carey was in the living room with the male that entered with him, and Allen Iverson locked the apartment door and said, "Either I'm going to die or I'm going to jail, and I guarantee you I'm not going to die." Allen Iverson then called Tawana's cell phone and held the phone to Jones's ear and told him to tell Tawana that Allen has a gun in his hand. Tawana called back and spoke to Allen Iverson. "Allen Iverson, where the fuck you at? I'm about to hurt somebody. You better tell me where the fuck you at. Do you think I'm playing? I'm going to make a fucking example out of him." That's what he says on the phone. They don't hear the other side of the conversation. Shortly after Allen Iverson spoke to Tawana, he and the other male left. Before leaving, Iverson said, "You better not answer the phone for the rest of the motherfucking night. And if she is lying and not here, I'm coming back and something is going to get the fuck up out of here." Okay. Before leaving, then he wiped off the phones again and took 2 photos from the house.
Okay.
Now, his lawyer said they both turned themselves in on this. It's alleged assault and all this shit. His lawyer, obviously, he's going to plead innocent. He's arrested. There's a huge horde of photographers and people yelling free AI through a bullhorn. It's a whole big thing. He was, fingerprinted and all that kind of shit. They took him out. So anyway, they released him on his own recognizance. They said he's known nationally, he's known globally, so obviously there's a safety factor if you put him in a room with another prisoner. So we'd rather just have him out on the street there. Right. So, Jesus Christ, man. It's a mess. His youth coach says, quote, "A lot of people think Allen Iverson has cleaned up his image. He had never changed. Does that make him a bad person? No, it's just his way. It's the urban culture. He's the most popular guy in the NBA, so why should he change? He's this way with both black and white kids. That's what he stands for and how he plays." So
yeah, but you can't
run
go
around
looking for looking for a naked woman you kicked out of your house. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can drive the lane on the court, but you can't drive into someone's apartment with a handgun here.
With a handgun, talking about where's my wife.
So he's released on, $10,000 bond or something like that. The charges against him could carry a sentence of up to 50 years if he got convicted of all this type of shit. But they said he's unlikely to serve any jail time, even if he's convicted. They're going to end up lowering shit. So here's another insane opinion piece very quickly. Another asshole piece. "Call me a hater. Make that a HATA in quotes." This is an old white guy who saw one rap video and he's like, "I'm going to write all about this." Actually,
above the rim.
Seriously, to be more precise, a play-a-hater, and he does it like that in quotes.
All right, he saw white men can't jump.
But hater will do because I hate the players in this game that is thug life. That's what he says.
Dude.
This thug life persona. This isn't like 99, by the way. Yeah. This isn't like, wow.
You're 12 years too late, sir.
Jesus. Recently perpetuated by Philadelphia 76ers guard Allen Iverson, has kids on the basketball court wanting to emulate the All-Star. They want to score 31 points a game? Great. Good for them.
Have you seen his moves, sir? His crossover is deadly.
Good Lord, if you can do that, you'll be in the NBA too.
If not, you
won't.
Michael Jordan on his ass. Shut up.
He's nasty. So he says, "I'm wanting to emulate the All-Star thug life, even as a shoe company banking on its appeal." Youths talk about Iverson, who turned himself into Philadelphia police Tuesday with the same adoration a young saxophonist speaks of Charlie Parker. Yeah, the kids are all hot for Charlie Parker, you fucking idiot. Yeah, if they're into saxophone history, maybe, but
saxophonist.
Who are you trying to reach with this article? Not kids.
In 1999, the only saxophonists I knew were Kenny G and Bill Clinton.
Whoever was doing it in the Hall of Oates fucking songs. That's it. So, oh my God. As Teflon as Iverson is, he's never been that smooth. Dudes on house lock, one kid explains during a Sunday night pickup game at North Fresno's Kaiser Park. He went down to like an urban basketball court and said, what do you think of Allen Iverson? Dudes on house lock. He don't care. AI threw a joint at the popo with the popo at the gate. Allie going to be in county jail still partying, as the kid said. Quote, for the uninitiated, that means Allen Iverson, under house arrest, held a party while police officers waited outside his property. Oh, my God. The amounts of street adoration of the thug life from misguided youngsters. I hate that. Their pimply faces, short blonde hair, and gangly movement, and neither could have been older than 16 or 17. Just as each, those are the kids that we're talking there, just as each has to grow into his own body, each must grow into his own mind. It's a hungry mind, and God forbid Iverson provides the food. God
These white
forbid.
kids knew that a party's called throwing a joint.
Oh, my God, man. Iverson allegedly threw his naked wife out of their house after a fight. I guess that's the thug life way of treating the mother of your children. And the kids laughed. By the way, they both deny that later on, that ever happened.
She even said it didn't happen?
She denies it, too. Yeah, but they're still together, so who the fuck
also,
knows?
there's $30 million at stake there.
We don't know. So, yeah, anyway, this guy's a fucking dipshit. Oh, worse, Reebok, the athletic apparel giant, not only stands by Iverson, but appears to endorse his foolishness as much as he endorses its $130 shoes. So he goes to court, and because the investigator or investigators in this case who took the statements leaked them to the media before they were used in affidavits for an arrest warrant, the full text of the statement should be given to the defense before the preliminary hearing. So the defense ended up getting a huge leg up because they had leaked shit to the media on the prosecutor's side. So it's pretty interesting. Now, the testimony, once they get there, now Hakeem Carey says, yeah, I don't know if it was a gun. It was a black thing he had under, and it might have been a pager. I'm not sure. Oh, my
God.
Might have had a pager now. I don't know. That's different. And Carey said that Iverson's other accuser, Charles Jones, had pressured him into telling the police he had seen a gun because maybe he could get some money out of it that way. So he said, yeah, that's he persuaded me to do so. And he said he didn't want to do it because, quote, I didn't want to be Philadelphia's most wanted. I didn't want people to want to kill me, basically. Yeah. So anyway, all sorts of accusations. Bowman also testified that Jones offered to drop his accusations if Iverson paid him $100,000. So the judge drops most of the charges, 14 of the charges, including all of the felonies.
14 charges.
And the only thing that's left is a terroristic threat charge, which is a misdemeanor. It's just a threat. So, his mother said that she's thankful to God. That's what she said about it. She's happy. So he gets in a car with his sister and takes off, and that's that. So, that's he's getting away. Michael Chitwood, who's the lead police investigator, said, quote, I know in my heart that the incident they said happened. It happened, but every day in this building, witnesses go south.
Yeah, they do.
So there he is, and Alan takes off. He's like, yeah, these are supposed to be my cousin's roommate, people I'm supposed to know. I can't trust anybody now. This is ridiculous. He says, driver, let me out right here. I can't take this shit anymore.
I'm going to walk.
I'm going to sit for a minute, damn it, and take in nature because this is bullshit and I'm just pissed off. No, you stay in the car. Everybody stay in the fucking car. This is Alan's bench. Leave me the fuck alone, right? And he sits there. And he's just very calm, and he's hearing birds chirp, and then all of a sudden he hears something else. It's dogs barking.
Yeah.
He hears those dogs bark, and he looks up to see Bobby Colorado standing before him, animal trainer from Fredericksburg, Texas. And he says, how is it you come to arrive here, guy? What the fuck are you doing? They're paying you so much fucking money. You're good, too. I watched you. You dribble that fucking ball back and forth. I watched you jump over a guy's fucking head and dunk it over him. That's fucking amazing. That's incredible.
A lot of money on you.
Lost a few bucks. I know a couple of guys who may or may not want your legs broken for certain bets that they may or may not have won or covered the odds on, but that's a whole other story is what I'm getting at. By the way, we could use an over on Saturday, but that's besides the point. The over-under. What I'm trying to tell you is you're hanging out with a bunch of jerk-offs. I get you don't want to look like a bad guy. You put these people behind. Yeah. Can't trust none of these fucking people. That's the problem. Your wife, you think she's running off with your cousin? You can't trust that. That's no good either. You need somebody you could trust.
Sure.
The only thing you're going to be able to trust, one of these fucking dogs right here. Alan I got a dog for you that you're going to love. I'm telling you right now. He will never drive 93 miles an hour. He doesn't do any of that shit. He's nice. He's calm. I'm going to give you a dog. But you know what? I don't know. You're kind of, it could be scary. What are you going to do with this dog, huh?
Yeah.
You're not going to
You're going to go to DMX's house, are you?
I was going to say, if you put him in a rap video, that's fine. I think he'd be good for that. You know what I mean? So you do that, and I'm going to get out of here. You get out of here. Poof, in a cloud of dog shit and marinara sauce. Bobby Colorado's gone, and Allen Iverson comes back to the limo with a dog now, and everyone's very confused. Why did that happen?
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. So Alan's reaction is, quote, I wasn't shocked by any of it because that's the way it's been with me. I can't even say since I've been in the league, it's been that way. It's been that way with me since the world has known Allen Iverson. As far as high school, college, and up to this point right now, it seems I've always had a microscope on my life and everything I've been through and dealt with. Yeah, that's about right. It was just a horrible experience having people outside my house 24 hours, helicopters flying over my house because of something I was accused of, my kids not being able to go outside and play because of the media coverage. The media makes you and they break you. It's as simple as that. It was a bad experience for Tawana because she ain't never been one to speak to the media, deal with the media or anything like that. But when the incident happened, she was top story. It was just a bad experience overall. He said, I see it, but I'm me. I'm a human being, man. I make mistakes like everybody else. I try to live my life as positive as I can. I mean, some things I just can't control. People say what they want to say. It's always going to be like that. I know some people look at my life with a microscope, but some things I can't control. Some people in this world are just mean. Big meanies. He says they're just mean. That's just what it is. That's something I have to accept. That's not something I'm new to. It's been like that. Okay. So, yeah, he said it's just, he feels like they're on him all the time, goddammit.
Well, the part that made this story sensational is a naked woman.
Naked woman thrown out of the house, and then there's gunplay when he wants her back.
If it's just he throws her out and then goes to find her with a gun, it's not near as sensational as throws her out naked.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's what the 911 call said, though. That's the guy on the phone said on the 911 call. Tawana said, quote, I felt like the media was ridiculous. I mean, they sat outside my house, like Alan said, but you wouldn't know they were there until 11 or 12 o'clock at night, shining bright lights into my house. Right. It was just crazy, and at the same time, I felt it was, of course, just an invasion of privacy that stemmed from something that never happened. Quote, I was never thrown out of the house naked. She said that that's something that he's dealt with, but something I've never had to deal with, the media pressure. That was something that was just way over my head. I have much more respect for what he goes through, him or anyone who has celebrity status. It's something I never wanted to go through. I keep to myself. What's in my house stays in my house. I don't flaunt my kids in front of the camera. I don't flaunt myself in front of the camera. If I choose to speak, that's on my time. Damn. All right. That's nice. She also says, that he doesn't, someone said, doesn't he take for granted everything he has? And she says, that's not accurate. Yes, he plays for the 76ers, but he also gives to charities. He has a foundation, does things for the Boys and Girls Club. He wouldn't be that person if he didn't appreciate what he has. God damn it. So, yeah, anyway, their relationship, he says, first of all, quote, it's not nobody's business. It's as simple as that. And Tawana said, anything that goes on between the two of us, none of their business. He says, me and my wife been together for 10 and a half years. We've been in a million fights. If I'd be wrong if I ask you, what's up with you and your girl? What's up with your relationship? When's the last time you and her got in a fight? I'd be a fool to say I don't get into it with Tawana. I never get in a fight with her ever in my life. But am I there putting a foot in her ass or anything like that? No, never. A foot in her ass. Putting a foot in her ass? Hell no.
Why would you do that?
Oh my God, that's fucking amazing. So yeah, he also says that he doesn't want to be. He's scared to be in Philadelphia past the games now. He said, I've heard police officers talk about toasting to Allen Iverson's next felony conviction. I'm hearing police officers saying I'm involved in this, that, and the third. It scares me because I don't know if there's any crooked cops out there. They can do anything. Allen Iverson can come up dead tomorrow if a crooked cop wants him dead. It's as simple as that. I have news cameras following me everywhere, following my wife, following my kids, following my friends, just to see what type of activity's going on. It really scares me, man. Okay. Not into it. He says that also people think I live my life for Allen Iverson. I live for Tawana Iverson and them 2 kids. That's what I live my life for. That's all I've got. That's all I care about. I may stumble, but I promise I won't fall. So, 2002-03 Sixers, 48-34. They lose in the second round of the playoffs to Detroit. Allen leads the league in minutes played again, also starts all 82 games.
Wow.
Plays 42.5 minutes a game.
Shit.
Not lazy at all. He's a hustler, man. 27.6 points, 4.2 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2.7 steals, again leading the league in steals. $12,375,000. And a son is born this year as well.
He's got 3 kids?
A son, Allen the Third. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. It's Isaiah, he names him. It's not Allen the Third. You believe me, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I can't do that.
February 24th, 2004, he is at the Bally's Atlantic City Casino, where he is caught urinating into a trash can in the middle of the casino, and he's kindly asked by casino management not to ever return to the facility.
Please don't do that again. Ever.
Please don't.
Yeah.
The next year, this 2003-04, again 42.5 minutes a game. Jesus Christ. 26.4 points, 2.4 steals, 6.8 assists. Killing it. $13,500,000.
My God.
He also goes to the 2004 Olympic team. Yeah. He's on that team. Iverson, Stephon Marbury, Dwayne Wade, Carlos Boozer, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Emeka Okafor, Sean Marion, Amari Stoudemire, Captain Tim Duncan, also Iverson's a co-captain, Lamar Odom, and Richard Jefferson are the team.
Jesus.
Not bad. They win a bronze medal. They go 5-3 in the tournament.
That's right. That team won the bronze, and it was a joke.
Didn't do well. Allen scores 13.8 a game, which is a lot for those because they get everybody playing time. 2004-05. By the way, he's an all-star every year through here. 42.3 minutes a game this year, 2004-05. 30.7 points a game.
Jesus Christ.
2.4 steals, 7.9 assists. So he scores 31 and 8. Basic 31 points and 8 assists, basically, which is silly, and 4 rebounds as well. $14,625 here.
And somehow that's not enough for what he was doing. He was doing so much. 30 points a game for only $14 million?
And selling the jerseys like nobody's business. I mean, his merch was flying off the shelf.
The amount of contributions he's made to the NBA is unfathomable.
He made the league a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he sold tickets, period. He sold fucking tickets. People wanted to go, even if they hated Allen Iverson, they wanted to go see him play.
Absolutely.
Either to get stuffed or to do well. He has another son in 2005.
My God.
Named Messiah now.
He has an Isaiah and Messiah?
An Isaiah and a Messiah. He's going biblical now for the next couple.
Yeah.
That year, too, his bodyguard Jason Kane, is accused of assaulting a man at a Washington, D.C. nightclub after the man, Marlon Godfrey, refused to leave the club's VIP section so Iverson's entourage could enter the section. Godfrey suffered a concussion, a ruptured eardrum, a burst blood vessel in his eye, a torn rotator cuff, cuts and bruises, and emotional distress.
Oh, he was stopped, man.
Jeez. Iverson isn't even accused of touching the guy, but this guy sues Iverson for $260,000.
Okay.
And he is going to get $260,000.
Yeah.
And then they appeal it twice, and it still gets $260,000.
Yeah, he got the shit beat out of him.
December 9th, 2005, the Sixers beat the Charlotte Bobcats, and then Iverson, after the game, goes to the Taj Mahal Casino there in Atlantic City. He wins a hand of a 3-card stud poker table. Wins a hand. He's overpaid by $10,000 in chips. Because he bets huge. They call him a whale all the time and shit. So he gets overpaid by $10,000. The dealer quickly realizes he made a mistake and asks for the chips back, and Iverson says no.
That's not
you
my
gave
problem,
them to me.
man. Yeah.
So then they get in a big argument, and other casino staff comes over, and it turns into a big thing. The casino regulations in Atlantic City reportedly state that when a casino makes a payout mistake in favor of the gambler must return the money that they did not legitimately win. So by law, he has to. He doesn't, so they kick him out, and he's not allowed to come back there.
Okay.
So the next year, 43.1 minutes a game, averages 33 points a game in 2005-06.
Shit, damn.
33 points a game, 3.2 rebounds, 7.4 assists, 1.9 steals. Crushing it. $16,453,125.
There you go. Now we're getting closer to what he deserves.
Banking. December 19th, 2006, he's traded by the Sixers to the Denver Nuggets for Andre Miller and Joe Smith and a draft pick.
Great deal.
Great deal. Larry Brown, the coach of the Sixers, said, quote, "I love the guy. We might have had arguments, but at the end of the day, he tried for me and cared for me in his own way. He maybe was as important a player as we've ever had in the game, because wherever I went, folks didn't know who the hell I was, but they knew I was Allen Iverson's coach. That meant a great deal to me."
Hell yeah.
All of these young kids idolize him. Like me, they love his courage. It's tragic thing for me to know he's going through all this, because he's had a wonderful life and wonderful kids and a phenomenal career. He's having some personal problems here. He says, Allen said his number one memory was being drafted and going to the Sixers. And he loves the Sixers. And they were in a bad losing streak, and he was complaining and all this shit, so they just traded him. He said, "I don't think it had to end this way," Allen said, "but this is the way it did end. I thought the organization did what was best for them, and the trade was best for me. I hope they got everything. I hope they get everything they could get out of the trade." So he's saying, I like the Sixers anyway. Yeah. So January 2nd, 2007 versus the Sixers.
Oh.
He's fined $25,000 by the NBA for criticizing referee Steve Javie following that game here. During the game, he committed 2 technical fouls and was ejected from the game.
Right.
After the game, he said, quote, "I thought I got fouled on that play, and I said I thought that he was calling the game personal, and I should have known that I couldn't say anything like that. Say anything like that. It's been something personal with me and him ever since I got in the league. This was just the perfect game for him to try and make me look bad." This crooked referee Tim Donaghy supports this. In his book, he said that this guy, this Javie guy, had a problem with Allen Iverson and hated him and liked to call fouls on him and shit, and liked to not call fouls for him. So, that's how that works. Donaghy, in an interview with 60 Minutes, said he and fellow referees thought that thought the punishment was light. They said before Iverson's Nuggets played the Utah Jazz on January 6th, Donaghy said he and 2 other officials working the game agreed to not give Iverson favorable calls as a way to teach him a lesson.
That's fucked up, man.
He attempted 12 free throws, but on 12 drives to the basket, he drew 5 fouls, 3 of which Donaghy whistled himself, but he didn't receive a call on one play in which he obviously was fouled. So it was one of those. So, anyway, that year still does well, 26.3 a game. Tons of minutes, $17,184,000.
Fuck.
Yeah. 2007-8, October 2007, there's a woman named Eileen Mellon.
Oh, boy.
Okay? She's a college student driving on Interstate 64 from Newport News to Hampton. It's after midnight. She's reaching toward her cup holder to her right where she had her cell phone there. She's pulling onto an exit ramp, and she saw heavy construction cones and swerved. Her and her friend screamed, and their car flipped over 3 times and landed on its side. Yeah. So she said, "I turned the car off." She said, "I just figured I should do that. We were fine. And at that moment, there was someone knocking on the window asking us if we were all right. He told us to roll the window down. I had to turn the car back on. He pulled Ashley out. I looked up and said, 'Oh, my God, you're Allen Iverson.'" He stopped and pulled these women out of the car.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a hero.
He got us out. By then, an ambulance came. They checked up and suggested we go to the hospital. Ashley went. I waited for my mom. It was all so fast, so surreal. It was enough for a friend, April of hers, who had Philadelphia roots, to write a letter to the Philadelphia Daily News. She's an Iverson fan, and she said that she wanted people to know about Iverson's rescue effort, and there was more to him than the controversy.
He didn't toss us out naked or anything.
He pulled me out. I said, "Take your clothes off so I can get you out of there." Iverson said he was on his way to his uncle's house, and he said, "I feel good that they're appreciative. I look at it as just being a human being. They need help. People have helped me." So
that's nice.
It's all. He was like, "I didn't think it was that big of a fucking deal." He said, "I just saw a car on the left side of the road. It was all crashed up. You could see the glass and stuff in the street from the wreck. The car was smoking. I was like, we got to go see what's up with those people."
Make sure it's not on fire. Get them girls out.
Yeah. Both of them said they were all right. One of them had her seatbelt was still on. I remember looking in there and asking, "Are you sure you're all right? Is anything broken or anything like that?" One looked up and said, "Oh, my God, are you Allen Iverson?" I was like, "Yeah, but don't worry about that. We're trying to get you all out and make sure you're all right."
Don't worry, I don't have a gun and I won't hurt you.
We'll deal with that later. Hold on a minute. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. when they got out of the car and looked at it, that's when both of them lost it. They realized what it could have been. It's a scary sight. You can be in a car and be all right, but when you get out and look at the damage done, you're like, it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
He said that, he was doing great there. Other cars had pulled over, but when the police arrived, they said they seemed to have everything under control, and he went on to his uncle there. And it's at this point, too, his youngest daughter has an undisclosed illness that's apparently a serious illness that causes him to miss games to go for treatments and shit with her. So later on, he'll have to miss games during this. 2007-8 here, he plays all 82 games, leads the league in minutes played, 26.4 a game. He's fucking killing it. $19,012,500.
Jesus, God, that's so much money.
2008, his daughter Dream is born. And at this point, there's an NBA source that says that Iverson is practically living in casinos at this point.
Really?
He was banned from 2 of the 3 casinos in Detroit.
The MGM, probably.
Probably. I assume that's the first one he got banned
piece
from.
Of shit anyway, Alan. It's all right.
He said, drinking in the casinos. Alan was always doing one thing or it was the other. No one who knows him can deny it. So November 3rd, 2008, he's traded by the Nuggets to the Pistons for Chauncey Billups and Antonio McDyess.
Wow, to the Nuggets from the wow
to the Pistons. So yeah, he's got to pay that, and also this is the time where he has to pay that guy that his bodyguard beat up $250,000 for pain and suffering and $10,000 for medical bills. Another patron sued him for $20 million, but they didn't give him Ugats. So that's how that goes. So I mean, he didn't even get hit. He was just like, yeah, go in there and get the area ready. He didn't tell the guy to go whoop somebody's ass. He didn't know. So you got to feel bad for him at that point. A lot of people have come down on Allen. I feel kind of bad for him, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Allen Iverson, director of IT and PMO at PIPCSC in fucking Ottawa. I don't know what that is.
Way too many letters, sorry.
Wow, it's a lot of letters. Allen Iverson, head custodian at Pepe's Mexican restaurant in Chicago. Let's see what else we have here. Allen Iverson, manufacturer's rep in Medford, Oregon. Allen Iverson, inventor in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
The real
answer. Allen Iverson, materials manager at Faurecia Automotive in Illinois. And finally, and this is the one you wouldn't want him to be, senior financial analyst at T. Rowe Price in Hawaii.
What do you say we put all your money in blackjack?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. That's cool. So that year, he only averages 17.5 points a game. He's still an all-star, though. He's been an all-star every year since 99-2000. Wow. Makes $20,840,625
Jesus
that year.
Christ.
September 10th, 2009, signs as a free agent with the Memphis Grizzlies. And he said, quote, God chose Memphis as the place I will continue my career. I feel they're committed to developing a winner.
Yeah.
So,
got a career in Memphis.
They put him on the bench here. And he leaves the team for personal reasons at one point for a while. And then after only 3 games played on November 17th, 2009, he's waived by the Grizzlies.
Ouch.
It's said to be a mutual agreement to terminate his contract there. So he is signed December 2nd as a free agent with the Philadelphia 76ers. He comes home, accepts a contract. March 2nd, 2010, he's released by the Sixers.
Yeah, it's over.
The same day he's released by the Sixers, Tawana Iverson files for divorce, seeking custody of their children as well as child support and alimony.
So you're not going to make $30 million anymore? I'm out.
I'm out. The day they fucking get rid of him, they said they've been living in a state of separation. She's requesting sole custody and all that kind of shit. So, wow. He says on Twitter, the last couple weeks have been very difficult for me and my family. I needed to be there to hold my little girl's hand and encourage her to get better. I wanted her to wake up every morning and see her daddy's face, at least until she got better. So
she's still sick, for God's sake.
Yeah. Attorneys, also, they're going for equitable division of their property. But less than 2 weeks later, his wife takes it back.
She comes back.
Never mind. So yeah, that's his career. By the way, that year he makes $1,029,794 from the Sixers and $161,386 from the Grizzlies. Career earnings $154,494,445.
Oh, my God.
A shitload.
Plus Reebok.
Plus Reebok, yeah. He plays in Turkey. It's a 2-year, $4 million contract to play in Turkey. He plays in 3 games and then comes back here to have calf surgery.
Yeah.
So, whatever. April of 2011, he yells at a cop for 20 minutes who pulled him over in Atlanta.
What?
He's driving his Lamborghini, and the cop pulls him over for bad tags on the Lamborghini or and expired plates or whatever the fuck it was. It ended up being impounded.
Wow.
And he was yelling, quote, "Take the vehicle. I have 10 more. Police don't have anything else to fucking do except fuck with me. Don't you know who I am? I make more money than you will in 10 years. Blah, blah, blah. And then afterwards, he came back to find the officers and apologized for disrespecting them. He felt bad, he said.
I apologize, you broke motherfuckers.
Broke-ass motherfuckers. You got to touch a Lamborghini. You feel better now? June 2011, his wife refiles for divorce, saying irretrievably broken. She does say here she never caught him with another woman during their marriage at all. She said people simply grow apart sometimes. She said cheating in the marriage has never been an issue. Never.
I didn't care at all.
Well, we'll find out here. He gets sued in 2011 for $2.5 million in damages, saying that his security guards assaulted him in a 2009 Detroit bar fight. The judge dismisses it, though, saying there's no evidence that anybody struck this guy.
Okay.
October 2011, still wants to play in the NBA. Quote, "I'll play for anybody." November 2011. That's the dropped lawsuit. Never mind. He gets the dropped lawsuit. It was at the Beach Pizza Bar, South Beach Pizza Bar in Detroit was where the fight took place, apparently. December 2011, his wife complains to the court. And now that she wants a divorce again, she said that since she filed for divorce again, he's been on a massive spending spree, leaving her completely penniless.
Mm-hmm.
She says, claiming ever since she filed for divorce, he stopped depositing money in their joint bank account, then made several large cash withdrawals, including one for $20,000, which he spent on diamond jewelry.
Hell yeah.
She claims the account was $23,000 in the red at the time she filed for the court docs, and says she's been unable to pay the bills or provide for her 5 kids. She said she gave up her career to be a stay-at-home mom. She wasn't going to make $154 million probably,
no,
but she said Alan's worth more than $20 million and refuses to help her out simply out of spite. Alan denies the allegations, and so there's a stalemate here. January 2012, Alan's bank account is frozen by a Georgia judge.
Really?
Not for that, though. It's so he can repay a 6-figure debt to a Georgia jeweler. He is sued back in 2010 for stiffing Aiden & Company jewelers on a $375,000 bill.
Jesus.
He never responded, so the default judgment was issued in favor of the jewelry store, allowing them to collect $859,896.46 for the jewelry, court costs, interest, and attorney fees.
Almost $1 million for $300,000 worth of jewelry. You should have just paid it.
But he still didn't pay. So yeah, now he's in trouble here. So now he might be up for a $4 million judgment against him based on this.
Shit.
That jewelry went up in value,
It
man.
sure did. That appreciated like crazy.
Holy shit, man. So it's at this point, later, March 2012, now his wife, Tawana, says, remember she said it has nothing to do with another woman?
Yeah.
Now she says she wants the name, quote, "give the name and telephone number of every person other than your spouse whom you've had a sexual relations and or intimate physical contact from the date of your marriage to the date of the trial." Now she wants that. Such sexual relations and or intimate physical contact include, without limitation, sexual intercourse and or touching or being touched in a manner for sexual arousal.
Yeah.
This is fucking
too?
This is fucking amazing. And they said, Tawana Iverson says they think she's going for this route to push for a settlement, But a lawyer who specializes in family law says she has to be careful because of the way Georgia's divorce laws are structured.
Sure.
She said, quote, if Allen Iverson had 150 women and Tawana Iverson knew about it, but she forgave him, and then they went to counseling, the legal term for this is condonation. So she's saying you're condoning it. She can't go to court later and complain about the 150 women because she's condoned the behavior. That's the way the law works there. So his response is that this is ridiculous because none of this should count because now it's a fresh start. All that other shit should be in the past because they've resumed their marital relationship, cohabitating, having sexual relations, and holding themselves out as husband and wife. So he's saying we're fine, and she's like, no, we're not. So it's what they've been fucking apparently.
You did get over it.
April of 2012, she now says she's frightened of him, claiming that he's been harassing her and her family and wants a restraining order. She said he's engaged in increasingly contemptuous, threatening, and disturbing behavior over the last few months, and she's afraid things will get worse. He says it's bullshit. He's never harassed her and her family, and she shouldn't get a restraining order against him. May 2012, Allen wants his wife locked up, wants her arrested now. Says she ransacked his house while he was out of the country. Says that he went to Asia earlier in the month. When he returned home, his house was totally gutted. His wife infiltrated his home while he was gone, pillaging furniture, art, memorabilia, and a large sum of cash.
Oh, boy. He
said he's asked Tawana several times to return the stuff, but so far she's refused. So that's how this is going. So then they're in court the next time. He's standing in court, and he says he pulls out his pants pockets, literally, and says, quote, I don't even have money for a cheeseburger. To which Tawana then reaches over and hands him $61 out of her pocket. There you go, Alan.
Here, get the biggest one you can find.
It's at this point his oldest daughter, Tiara, asked to live with Alan. According to her testimony, she said she was concerned about how few people her father interacts with, and she wants to be around him. What a sweet kid. Tawana also says here that alcohol is the main problem. It's intensified his flaws, leading him to skip milestone events and stagger through others. She said that he hadn't been present for Tiara's birth in 94, and 3 years later when Alan Jr. was born, they would call him Deuce. That's what they call him. Iverson was very intoxicated and unable to drive her to the hospital.
Wow.
She also said he supported family members and rarely said no to a request for money and all that kind of shit. Iverson, she said, kept living as if he had his next contract coming up. According to a bank statement here, that was the other one that he spent the jewelry on here. She said before their home in Denver was foreclosed, she testified she sold jewelry at a pawn shop to pay toward more debt. Yeah. When he met with investigators to discuss his 5 children, he smelled remarkably of alcohol, according to the investigators' testimony. Months later, during a scheduled evaluation, he arrived with alcohol on his breath again. It's a mess.
$150 million?
$154 million.
Gone.
December 2012, he's about to lose his house in Atlanta. He purchased it for $4.5 million in 2010, but according to records, he's defaulted on his mortgage and the bank is foreclosed, and now they are going to sell it and all his shit that's inside too.
Oh, no.
So, he still has a chance to save it if he can get the money. But apparently he's defaulted on a $1.2 million mortgage he owes, so he's got to pay that. He claims that his wife signed for the mortgage in order to screw him by agreeing to financial terms he couldn't meet. So, anyway, the lawsuit got put on hold for the foreclosure proceedings because of the divorce, because none of that shit could be processed. So that's good for him. About a month later, he files documents saying that the battle with his ex, he says that he brings in $62,500 in monthly income, but his expenses are $358,376.66 per month. $360,000 a month in expenses. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wild.
That's like what the Neverland Ranch costs to run for Michael Jackson. Like that's
what is he? What bills is that?
Well, $125,749.33 is spent paying off various creditors and mortgages, jewelry, people, all that sort of thing. But he blows a lot on other shit too. $10,000 a month on clothes, $10,000 a month on groceries / household items, $1,000 a month on dry cleaning, $5,000 a month on entertainment, $5,000 a month on restaurants, and so on.
Well, don't do that.
That is, he's negative $295,876.66 a month. That is.
But I got to be at the restaurant, man.
That is crazy. That is fucking bonkers, man. January 2013, the NBA D-League offers him to play in the Texas Legends of that league. It's a Dallas Mavericks minor league team. And he says, no, thank you.
$50,000, no.
No, thanks. So back to the divorce here. Now he wants the judge taken off the case. He says the current judge unethically does legal favors for campaign contributors, and he's afraid that this judge will screw him over just like he screwed over Usher, Usher's estranged wife, apparently. So, yeah, I guess the lawyer who repped the singer in the child custody showdown with somebody else is also repping Iverson's ex. So they're saying, you're going to let this guy run all over me just like you did with Usher's ex. So whatever. Okay. 2013, he and Tawana legally divorce.
Okay.
The settlement is for a cool $3 million. Wow. That's the settlement to her. Okay. You get $3 million. The judge in the divorce, in the divorce decree says this, quote, Iverson does not know how to manage the children, has little interest in learning to manage the children, and actually at times has been a hindrance to their spiritual and emotional growth and development. This is the judge. This isn't the lawsuit from his wife. Yeah. Okay. For example, he's refused to attend to an obvious and serious alcohol problem, which has caused him to do inappropriate things in the presence of his children while impaired. He's left the children alone without supervision. He's left his young daughters in a hotel room with men who are unknown to the mother.
What?
The judge, probably told his friend, watch these kids. I'm going to go out down to the casino. The judge has awarded Tawana legal and physical custody of the kids. Alan has some visitation rights, but only if he abides by certain conditions. Among them, he must not drink a drop of alcohol for the next 18 months, and until all of his kids become 18 or older, he can't consume alcohol within 24 hours of the times he has the kids. He's also been ordered to see a shrink and attend AA meetings for a year.
Good.
But he did get to keep, I guess he's going to, for now, he's still in the Georgia house, and he gets to keep his Maybach as well, his car.
Okay. Thank God.
It's all paid off. He's supposed to pay $8,000 a month for each kid, $40,000 a month in child support.
Holy shit.
Next up, it comes out that they think Allen Iverson has abducted his children. Yep. His ex-wife says, begging the court to tell him to give them back. She filed legal documents claiming he recently asked for permission to take the 5 kids on a short vacation to Charlotte, and he never came back with them on the 26th when they were supposed to come back. She said she tried to set up an exchange on June 4th in a neutral location by a Target store, but he never showed up. So, she claims she's especially concerned because he's an alcoholic who drinks around the kids. So he returns the kids. He insists he was never holding them hostage. Jesus Christ. He said, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
He said, he just said, I had the kids. I was hanging out with my kids. Shit, it was summer. I don't know. Fucking chilling. So either way, he wanted more private time. He said that he and Tawana have worked it out so that he can spend more private time. Next up, she wants a lump sum. He hasn't paid his child support.
Okay.
So she said, okay, rather than go to court every month for this, how about you pay the next 13 years worth, all the kids from now, all until they're all done, $1.2 million. Just pay it now.
Oh, okay.
Lump sum it, right? You're done. So, yeah, that seems reasonable, I guess. Anyway, so he said no, he doesn't have that all at once, and he can't pay that.
Okay.
So she said she also wants Reebok money that he gets. He can't be trusted with the nearly $500,000 he's about to earn from Reebok. She said he's getting a check. So she's asking the judge to make sure the money stays away from him. She said that he's scheduled to earn $450,000, and she says that if the company hands it to Iverson, she won't get any of it. So she wants her money first, basically. Can they hold it like an escrow? Okay, so they're officially divorced.
Okay.
Everything's done. Kids are gone.
Yeah.
They're with her. Everybody's fought. They've broken up all these assets, done all of this. They're back together immediately.
Oh, my God.
After the official divorce, he says, she'll always be my favorite person in the world. Said, we've known each other since we were 16 years old and we have 5 kids together. So what do we have? So we have to do what's best for our kids. So they're going to be back together and all that kind of shit. February 2013, his house is sold. It gets auctioned off now. He can't help it. Yeah. The bank purchased it for $2.5 million. He also owes his attorneys about $60,000 in legal fees.
Jesus Christ, Alan.
$61,098.86 to be exact. And he hasn't done that at all. Hasn't been paying them for shit. But November 2013, the Sixers officially retire his number 3 in a halftime ceremony on March 1st, 2014. So, 2015, is he broke?
No.
Well,
there's no way he's broke.
They said they got him on on CBS this morning to talk about his Showtime documentary that was coming out about him. And they said, are you broke? And he said, that's a myth. That's a rumor. The fact that I'm struggling in any part of my life. Doing great.
2000 that I struggle at all?
That I struggle at all. I'm doing perfectly. Don't you know shit? I'm doing so well. 2016, he is inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Deserve it, yeah.
In his class, him, Shaq, Yao Ming.
Wow.
Which, that would have been a hilarious picture with him in the middle of those two. That's funny. 2017, the Big 3 League is announced. And Iverson is set to be a player and a coach on Three's Company is the name of the team. Yeah. His co-captain would be DeMar Johnson, and Ruben Patterson's going to be on that team. Jesus Christ. Wow. He played in 1 game, scored 2 points on 1 of 6 shooting in 9 minutes of play. And he said, I signed up to be a coach, player, and captain. Coach part is going to go on throughout the game. Playing part is not going to be what you would expect. You're not going to see Allen Iverson of old out there. Well, yeah, because you're fucking 42 now. Yeah. 2021, he announces a partnership with Al Harrington, the former player, through which a line of cannabis products will be launched, named the Iverson Collection. Well, let's see it.
Yeah.
Let's see it, Chief. I want some. Allen Iverson will also aid in the development of various business initiatives for the company that Harrington founded, Viola Brands. The pair will also collaborate on educational efforts to reduce stigma around cannabis use. There we go. By the way, if you're worried about Allen financially, don't be that worried. In 2030, he got his 55th birthday. He is set to get a lump sum from Reebok that was part of his deal to be a deferred trust. This is in 2000. This is like 98 this happened. So back then you'd think, oh, that'll never happen. He's almost there now. He is going to get a $32 million check that day.
Allen is going to be fine if he can make it.
He's got that. If he can make it to that, he's got $32 million coming to him. Can't get enough of Allen Iverson? Well, turn on a TV, and you will see him on a Car Shield commercial, which is hilarious. The funny thing is, they're talking about, like, on the commercial, it's for this, like, it's to scare old people, is what it is. It's Ice-T going, when your car breaks down, you need to get Car Shield. It's going to cost you $5,000 for a new transmission or a Car Shield, blah, blah, blah. Ice-T's been on a network show for 20 years. He buys a new car every year, and if it breaks, he tells somebody, yo, take that shit in and get that shit fixed, will you? He doesn't think about it, know about it. And then they bring in, it's Ice-T and Ric Flair pops up out of nowhere. They're in a barber shop, and for one, it's like a black barber shop. Then Ric Flair pops up out of nowhere in the chair talking about Car Shield.
Yeah.
And then Allen Iverson walks in. So he's like, yeah, man, Car Shield, baby. And like,
let's take care of Maybach.
I don't know about Ice-T, but Allen Iverson and Ric Flair are known as maybe the 2 most irresponsible financially men in sports. Yeah. So to put them on a thing and go, this is the financially responsible thing to do.
It's the best thing you can do with your money.
But they are smart in the fact that they said, who do people fucking love?
Yeah.
Who do people, if they see that guy, they go, oh, that guy. Right. Ric Flair, Allen Iverson. Bang. Yeah. So they were smart in that one. So you can see him on Car Shield commercials walking into a barbershop going, I got that Car Shield, baby. Whatever the fuck he says. So there you go. That's Allen Iverson, everybody.
Wow.
We'll get to the show note in 1 second. If you like the show, I don't care. You don't have to review it or do any of that bullshit if you don't want to. Yeah. Just shutupandgivememurder.com. October 27th is the virtual live show for Small Town Murder. It'll be available a week after that as well. Do whatever you want for it. Just like a live show. We can't wait to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, show note. Here it is, everybody.
Yeah.
Show's over soon.
Sorry about it.
To kind of break it down simply, I don't know how else to say it, but we're going to be ending this show pretty soon here. Right. Not just the one we're listening to now, but the whole crime and sports show series is going to be over here pretty soon. We never thought we'd get 300-something episodes out of it, to be honest. Yeah. We said if we do this for 3 years, that'd be amazing if we could get 3 years out of it. So the fact that we got, almost 7 out of it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We're going to looks like we're probably going to go, the last show is probably going to be the day after Christmas, I believe. Yeah. Or it might be the day after New Year's, one of the two. We'll figure it out.
Sometime in the next couple of months.
Sometime in there. In the new year, we won't be doing crime and sports anymore. It will be over. We're going to start something new. So we're still going to do small town murder. We're going to do that forever because it's successful, unlike crime and sports. So, it's just we feel like it's time that we're running out of athletes that are really going to be interesting stories, like as far as to fill 2.5 hours with. We don't want to stretch it and make it just shitty. We're gonna go out with a bang. We're gonna do everybody that we know that's really fucking crazy stories and just go out with a bang. We still got Lawrence Taylor on deck and guys like that. So Hector Macho Camacho. Don't worry. Gaza's still out there. Yeah. We know the ones you've been asking for. And now this is the time. You want to flood us with shit, with people you want to see for the last 3 months of the show, because that's all it's going to be. And thank you for hanging with us for this whole time. This is our baby.
Yeah.
This is our baby. And we loved it. We love it the most.
And you gave a shit about our little angel.
You did, and you got us. This was the springboard to get us to do things that we could actually make a living on. And thank you so much for supporting this show for almost 7 years and for being there for us, for telling people about it. For there's a core out there of you crime and sportsers that are just so fucking hardcore. Yeah. You're awesome, and we thank you so much. You're really
you're our teammates.
Yeah, man, you're the pit of it all. You're holding it together in the middle with concentrated energy, and we appreciate the fuck out of that. Yeah. Some people have been different, and audiences have gotten a little different sometimes. With we get a lot of weird crime and sports. Used to be like we got support no matter what, and now we get weird hate mail no matter what we fucking say. Like weird, angry, angry fucking people, like. I heard you say this one thing that we didn't even mean what they thought we said, but they thought it was like a dog whistle for something. So they got mad at us, and it was like, whoa. Yes. Like, I don't know what happened.
It's more about you than it is us, and you guys
exactly. So between all of that and everything, it's just run its course. And honestly, it's time. So it's time. There's only so many criminal athletes that have great stories that we could really tell. We are gonna continue doing the ones on Patreon though.
Sure.
So there's a bunch of like shorter ones that are great stories, but they don't fill 2.5 hours, and we'll just keep going with that. Keep our Patreon going the same way. Small Town Murder, Crime and Sports, and we'll keep that up. But thank you for everything, honestly. Do that. And we'll make a kind of a more formal announcement at the top of a show. But
don't worry, the new show coming is going to be good. It's
going to be fucking great. It's really funny. So don't worry about that. We're going to have lots of comedy on it. It's going to be lots of fun and do it. It won't be sports related because here's our mistake, okay? This is what we thought in the beginning.
Here's where we stepped in it.
Here's where we went wrong. We thought, hey, anybody that likes sports, true crime, or comedy will like this show. All three things will come together. Turns out you have to like all three of those things and want them at the same time, and there's a lot less people that want that than we anticipated.
Do you like sports? Sure do. Do you like sports with criminal athletes? Not really. All right,
Not really.
That guy's out. What
How
about
this comedy?
guy?
I don't like joking in my sports. Okay, well, never mind that. So
I love both those things, but I hate jokes.
You don't want them together, some people. So that's all right, though. That's life. I mean, you put it out there. You make a recipe, and some people like it, some people don't, and that's that. What the fuck are you going to do? They liked it enough for 6.5 years
We
or so.
thought we were broadening the audience. Turns out it was really fine point in that motherfucker.
Really fine point. Yeah. So, we're going to keep that going. We do appreciate everything you've always done for us over the years. Thank you so much. And if you do want to join Patreon, easy. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you do that. This week, one of our crime and sports favorites, personal ads are coming this week, where we dig through old newspapers and find really funny fucking ads of people trying to hook up and find love in 1991 or so, and 87 and fucking 96 and all that kind of shit. And then for Small Town Murder, We have insane shit there as well. We're going to talk about small town festivals, weird county fairs, strange shit that's going on in small towns that you sure as fuck don't know about. We'll talk about it all. It's going to be really crazy. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you'll get a shout out here in just a moment, as a matter of fact, but you'll get it on the next one. Either way, follow us on social media. We're at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. That's how you can tell us the shows you want to hear for the last ones, and not Gaza or LT, because they're coming. Don't worry about those other ones. So do that. And with that said, Jimmy, I think it's time. Hey, why don't you go ahead and hit me with the list of the most wonderful fucking people on the face of this earth.
This week's executive producers are JB and Yeti Shetty. Marilyn Brandfast is your brand new 71-year-old grandmother, James. You better get in touch with her very soon.
Call her. I got to call her on Sundays.
Get all the rest of her grandmahood left.
Oh, shit.
That sounded weird. All right.
She makes sauce?
I imagine she does. Scott Gaiman, Hope Sherry, The Last Valkyrie. Valkyrie? What's a Valkyrie? That's a fucking soldier, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what that is. But the last one likes us.
Good.
Lindsay Plemons or Plemons, Quinn Ailes, Gavin Herr, Gaza's driver who hated Ricky. Who's that, James? I don't know who that is.
What was that?
Gaza's driver who hated Ricky. I don't know who that is.
Gaza's? That's a sports Gaza. We haven't done the episode yet.
Okay, is it that, or is it?
Beats me.
Or is it
the Gaza Strip?
Maybe so. Do they have a driver?
I don't know.
The fashion plate of wrestling and Corporal Carl Kirshner.
It's classy Freddie Blassie.
I forget what Carl wrote to me, and goddamn, I'm sorry, Carl. He's a terrific man. He is.
He is.
I don't remember.
He is wonderful.
All right. Povilis Basivius is really into Jessica Angela Cole. Povilis or Povilis? Basivius, you got to get an easier name, my friend.
It's wow.
That one's all fucked out. Liz Vasquez, Michelle at Centeno Kennels in Ontario, Canada. Mark E. Shaw, that's Bigfoot. It is. That's the guy from the Howard Stern Show. I know who that is. Peyton Meadows, Happy Hour in Orleans, Vermont. Alyssa and Sean in Wisco. I think that's Wisconsin. Janice Hill. Jessica Chastain, Tyler Jaco, Hunter with no last name, Teresa Strangini, Kate Wilson, Megan Foley, Dylan Vincent, Mackenzie Lem, Allison Louise Harrington, Diana Phillips, Joanna Troisi, I think, Troisi. It's Italian. I don't know. Troisi. Patrick Douglas Kelly, Robert Gamble, Rebecca Davidson, Mandy Tepe, Ann Alderman, Cameron Owens, Jenny with no last name, Emma Collins, Josh Grover, Heather Rush, Annie Schulman. I don't know. Anthony Scheffelman, K.I. I think that's Kai. I think that's what it is. Alta Hope, Jackson Finn, Kristen Weir, Kim Miller, Aiden Gahan, Lorraine Louise, Lauren Cook, Erica Chera, Ashley Lomploff, Flicka de Horse, Joyce Woods. Kathleen with no last name, Alicia Flint, David Arredondo, just Shannon, Emily Whittington, Dale Roberts, Daniel Lopez, Christina Muisen, Ricardo with no last name, Bailey Huff, Natalie Connolly, Corin Kruger, Jesse Floyd, Melissa McDevitt, Kathy Schwar, Julie Stem. Oh, is that Stern? I think it's Stem.
Stem to Stern, baby.
I think that's what it is. Cole Stewart, Harvey Phillip, Walter Wellman Williams. I don't know what that means. Nolan with no last name, Alexa Fagan, Tina Hensley, Sarah Morgan, Rich Lucas, Valkyrie. Another Valkyrie? That's not
another one.
There's two of them, so you're not the last.
Everywhere.
Melon Cone, I think. BB Gunn, Elizabeth Digirolamo. That's a fucking. That's Digirolamo. Forget it. Brittany Almazon, Tara Seek, Cyborg Sarah, Nakul with no last name, Thomas Lawson, Caroline Wu Kohatsu, Mandy Hughes, Tanya Henkel, Sean Gilbert, Savvy Lambro, Amy Cooper, Sheridan Hollow, Brendan Wyant, Natalie Love, Rachel Anderson, Zane Ellis, Antoinette Jackson, Melissa Kagnoff, Lulu Edmondson, Katie Morrison, Bonnie Shea, Yvonne Liu, Christina Barone, maybe, Oates Brownpaw,
Barone.
Gross, Claudia Watson, Laura Smith, Sue Haynes, McKinley, Heath, Jamie Williams, Jen with no last name, Daniel Reynolds, Gia with no last name, Gary Smith, Andrew Robertson, Joy Macharsky, Jesse Thompson, Jason Michalnek. Oh, Jesus. Michalnek. Yeah, Allie Hunter, Kathy Morris, Stacy Pitty, Mark Madison, Andrea Kendrick, Justine Kennedy, Julian Logan, Courtney Smith, Joel Micah Harris, John Paul Comas, hey. Michelle Ballhorn, gross.
Sorry, Michelle.
That's terrible. Bobby.
Gross.
Bobby Helton, Carly Hudson, Karen with no last name, Emily Voss, Zach Vandermally, Tracy Forziati, Lauren Fisher, Bailey Baker, J.W. Ashman, Bree with no last name, Rob Pierce, Richard Reyes, Gregory Papika, Shannon Trott, Aaron F. Sassy Pants, Paul Hoke, Morgan with no last name, Will Van Atta, Kevin Kuhlman, Josh, nope, that's Scott Huff, Justin Lehman, Lindy, Justin Lindy, Chance Fournette, Trevor with no last name, Jonah Hyder, Cassie Mewborn, is that Mewborn? That's Mewborn, Shelby Mertens, Gary Bacon, what? That's great, Kentrell Brinkley, Lori Howell, Caitlin Eastland, Michelle Kendrick, Sonnet Ireland, Matt Turley, Teresa Weichman, Samantha Shaw, Alec Hake, Frost, Randy Heinrich, yikes, Sonora Burmer, Aaron Tucker, Mr. Lanzis, Zach Grooms, I hope not, Everett Ogden, Kara Neiman, Katrina Corkin, oh, that's Katrina, I think we know, Angela Cotton, Lynn Maya, Moynihan, Jared Bramlett, Elia Charna, Ethan Cooper, Everett Case, Carly Manning, Sarah Miller, Ethan Marest, Shanna Shaw, Thor with no last name, David Mitrofanet, Tanya Steele, Amy Smut, Nora Christensen, Jason Trottier, Julie Geiger, Ashley Lacey, Kelly McKenna, Jeremy Rubin, Michael Bartley, Blake Starker, Richard Brian Cavell Jr., Isaiah Smith, Ralph Mole, Mike Killen, Justin Harrington, Greg Gailey, Brian Greeley, Christopher Lespren, Ethan Henning, Justin Agnew, Connor Curry, Dina Strong, Colleen Schickel, Katrina Lane, that's Kyle March, Rebecca Tipton, Stephanie Garvin, Katrina Cherie, Heather Cardy, Christopher Kime, Jacqueline with no last name, Heather Rossi, Don Savage, Rossi, and 2R, Don Savage, Gina M, Cameron Jacobson, Jesse McWilliams, Mary Ailes, Michelle with no last name, Jenny Outlaw, Megan Moore, Will Barnes, Dan Lee, Lauren Vasquez, Kaylee Strain, Carrick with no last name, Kane Stokes, Jeffrey Moulton, Mike Cutie, Teresa Garcia, Jeff Smotzer, Karen Reagan, Luke Cuff, Brian Jones, Matthew Lewis, Thomas Wolpert, Melody McDonald, Deidre Barnes, Corey Shepard, Tristan Santer, Cameron with no last name, Teresa Mongold, John Buckley, Alyssa with no last name, Luke McGowan, Don Buchanan, Alan Monk, Zach Potts, Nicole Smith, Dustin with no last name, Chris Johansson, Mandy Murakami, Thomas Torres, Kyler Lundberg, Lindsay Larimore,
Hold it together.
Megan Amburn, Katie S, Garrett with no last name, Jillian George, Joshua Hughes, Jake Hewla, Elizabeth Lassard, probably Commandant's daughter, Lacey with no last name, Jack Jenkins, Ben Reiser, Elizabeth Ploker, Amanda Inskeep Shelton, Kat with no last name, Jennifer Binkley, Danny Laria, Lori Dodson Parsons, Courtney with no last name, Sean Ryder, Alicia Gaken, Jessica Newman, Tracy Brands, Teresa Adams, Owen Den, Priya Fall, Kyle Vickers, hey Kyle, Lynn Unique, Kathy Ryan, Abby Finney, Sally Johnson, Amy Kessler, Shane Barnett, and all of our patrons. You guys are amazing.
Thank you, everybody, so much. Thank you. Hope you're loving Patreon. We enjoy making it. Thank you. And thanks for everything. If you want to follow us on social media, very easy to do that. Yeah. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. The links are right there. You can follow both of us, or just look up Crime and Sports podcast hosts. We're the only two assholes for at least the next few months anyway, until someone else steals it and tries to run with it. And we go, good luck, motherfuckers. Have fun. Enjoy being frustrated for
not
6.5
easy.
years. It ain't easy. So there you go, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, honestly. Thank you for everything. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.